And welcome to the Pivot season-long podcast. Starting out first episode today with myself, Josiah, and my cousin, Jared. Both of us are in a few pretty competitive season-long fantasy leagues. Most people would classify them that way, at least. But we just want to kind of share with you a little bit about our season-long leagues and some of our recommendations, and hopefully everyone can benefit a little bit, and we can talk about what we like, fantasy football.
So we've been in a league here for about a decade now, and this is a pretty competitive league. Everyone thinks they're the best in this league. It's going on 10 years now. We put $100 in, and the winner gets $1,000, and the second place gets basically double their money, which is $200. So what we're going to talk about is what we like this week. We're going to talk about our waiver wire pickups, who we might target for trades, who we might try to get rid of while they're hot. And at the end of the show, we're going to do a showdown lineup with DraftKings if you're a DraftKings fan.
Maybe a few start-sit scenarios in there as well.
Start-sit scenarios, which is basically what we're going to start with. So we'll kick it off. Josiah, who are you thinking that you would like to start this week? Basically, like, who's your favorite play?
Who's my favorite play? So just who's gonna have the best week?
Yeah,
man, I think Stephon Diggs is due for a big game, man.
He's been kind of lacking recently.
Yeah, but
basically
he's not lacking an
season.
opportunity. He's just hasn't got the scores yet. He's gonna have a huge game here soon, and Tennessee is the perfect opponent to provide that for him.
It's true. Tennessee, I think they're like one of the worst, and then Kansas City is like if they were trying to be the best at something they're the best at right now is being the best at being terrible at defense.
Yeah, that's what they're really good at right now.
Some start-sit scenarios. One that we use the fantasy. What's the app called? Fantasy Life or
Fantasy Life app.
Fantasy Life app.
Yep.
And we posted some scenarios here. What was yours?
I posted who would you start? You got to choose. It's a half PPR league. Kenneth Gainwell or Tony Pollard.
Based off the pass production, from what I've seen, it seems like even though they have Zeke, Pollard still gets a pretty decent amount of work every single week.
He's actually been worth starting in your flex most weeks.
Yeah,
so I mean, solid.
Out of those two, I would pick Pollard.
Yeah, so I like Pollard a lot, but I like Gainwell a lot this week because they're playing Tampa Bay. Last week, Myles Gaskin shows up against Tampa Bay out of nowhere. 10 catches, 2 touchdowns, 80 yards. This guy just came out of nowhere, and I think if someone's going to do that for Philadelphia, it's going to be Gainwell.
Gainwell, yeah. We actually got some questions coming in the chat already. This is our first live session for this version of our podcast, and I appreciate you guys showing up. Jacafis, what's up, guys? Daniel Pierce says, "Hey guys, Gainwell, Rondell Moore this week. Half PPR."
Another Gainwell question.
Yeah.
What's your first instinct?
I mean, I'm leaning towards Gainwell in this scenario. What do you think?
I would go Gainwell unless you're just trying to go big ceiling. Then maybe Rondale Moore, but I think Gainwell is a lot safer.
Yeah, I feel like he's pretty safe, especially since he's a back that gets the opportunity to catch some balls.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have a lot of those opportunities this week.
Yeah. So,
but if you need 25 points, then I would go Rondale Moore. He's the guy that could do that over Gainwell.
Right. How are you feeling about Tony this week? Kadarius
Toney. I think everyone's going to want to start him after last week, and reasonably so. But the matchup's not great.
And I
think we got to wait and see how many of those New York wide receivers are going to be healthy. I mean, if they're all back and he's got a bad matchup, I'd probably stay away if you could. I don't think he's going to totally bust, but I would definitely not expect what he did last week.
Here's my sentiment on Tony. We've got the pivot coming in. Do I start RSJ or Andrews? And I believe that's Julio. And obviously, you'd start Ricky Seals-Jones there. Obviously, that's what you would do. That's what you would do.
Why would you start Andrews? That guy's trash. Did you watch the game last week?
No, I do love Andrews this week too. But obviously, Juice, I'm going to start Ricky Seals-Jones. We've got Jacavius. Am I saying your name right? I'm not too sure about that. Would you guys give up DK for Patterson? So is this a trade scenario you're talking about? DK for Cordell Patterson?
I'm assuming Metcalf for Cordell Patterson.
Yeah. So, I have Cup, Tyreek, DK, and Lockett is what he's saying. My RB are Hunt, Moss, Montgomery, Damian Williams, and Gaskins. And someone else offered him Thielen and Kamara for Tyreek. Man, your league is active. I mean, these are quite the
as
trades.
deep as your wide receivers are, I do that one to get Kamara. I know you're giving up Tyreek Hill, but Kamara is the top running back, and it sounds like you need running backs more than receivers.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that for sure. But anyways, going back to Kadarius Toney, this is my sentiment on Kadarius Toney. I actually told my cousin here, Josiah, a week ago that I'm getting Odell Beckham rookie vibes from Kadarius Toney. Like I feel like even if Sterling Shepard and Slayton come back healthy, they're still gonna funnel him the ball, and I'm gonna play him every week at this point because I believe that it's a scenario where he's gonna be the focal point of the offense, and he's gonna keep just pumping out points.
I mean, I agree. It would be hard to sit him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I would just taper expectations a little bit this week, see what happens. But I don't know. You were more right than I was because I was a lot more skeptical.
I got Kadarius Toney before it was hot to get Kadarius Toney. I picked him up, and it was I looked like a genius basically. Jacavius is saying he's 1-4 right now, so he really needs some help in his season long aspects of things. But who give us another start sit scenario, Josiah. Look at your team, see if there's something you're thinking about.
Man, let's see. I had a pretty decent start sit scenario here. I was trying to decide on a team here. I got Noah Fant. A flex. I'm trying to decide for a flex because I'm starting Dawson Knox.
Okay.
And I could flex Noah Fant, or I could flex Tony Pollard.
Noah Fant or Tony Pollard. If you're in the chat and you have an opinion on that, let us know what you think. Noah Fant. Who's Denver playing this week? Do you remember?
Yeah, Denver is playing. Denver's playing Las Vegas, so they got a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, pretty good matchup.
But Dallas got a pretty good matchup too. They're playing New England. I think they're going to win that game by a good margin, and they're probably going to be running the ball.
I'm leaning towards Fant in currently. What are you thinking?
I've been leaning towards Fant too, but I just feel like Pollard's like guaranteed gonna get some points. Fant sometimes goes out and only has 2 or 3 targets.
Right.
So that worries me a little bit, but I'm hoping for that good matchup to pay off on Fant. He didn't do much last week, so I think he might be due this week.
All right. Well, let's talk about waiver wire pickups this week. So recently, obviously, it seems like the hottest pickup you could have got was Kadarius Toney. But we also had Devontae Booker. We had who was it? Was it Damian Williams or
Darrell Williams?
Darrell Williams
for
Kansas City, and there was another hot one I thought.
I would say Khalil Herbert's a pretty good one to go get right now. Damian Williams with Chicago just got put on the COVID list. He's probably going to be out this week.
Right.
And I think Khalil Herbert looked like a stud last week. So he's probably going to get featured this week. If he looks good again, he could take over that job while Montgomery's out.
Yeah. And that was who was that again?
Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert.
Yep.
He wasn't even picked up in our league. I don't even.
He's picked up. He got picked up last week.
Oh, last week. So it was previously. Okay.
Yeah, but that was an early pickup in that league. Most leagues, he's probably still available.
I looking at the stats here for Devontae Booker. He's still only. I mean, he jumped up 68% in ownership for waiver wire pickups. Out of Darrell Williams and Devontae Booker, who do you think is going to have the better game, or who do you think has the better matchup?
Between those two, it's Darrell Williams for me, and it's simply because Kansas City's offense is 100% better than the Giants'
Right.
offense. Especially if Daniel Jones is out and they got no receivers. They're not going to move the ball. And Devontae Booker is not a guy who you're going to count on to move the ball. You're counting on getting a lot of touches.
Right.
But if they're not good enough to move the ball, it ain't going to matter for him.
Do you feel like Kansas City's defense is so terrible that they might have to be in like pass-heavy offense mode, or
Possibly, but I don't think that's going to be I don't think that'll be a negative for Darrell Williams. I think he's going to be involved right there. And I think they're going to score enough touchdowns that he's definitely the red zone running back.
Okay. So you're leaning towards Darrell Williams. It looks like overall. Another waiver wire pickup that I like that might not actually happened this week, or I mean for some of you, but Dan Arnold, tight end for Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with DJ Chark like officially out for the entire season.
Yeah.
I feel like he might be an emerging tight end that would have long-term benefits if you're hurting in that spot.
I like Arnold quite a bit too, especially if you're looking for kind of a sleeper guy. Maybe he'll break out. I mean, Jacksonville literally just traded for him last week.
Right.
First week, he got like 8 targets.
8 targets, yeah, like
Yep.
65 yards.
Yep. And that's just the first week in the offense. I mean, he's still learning the offense. He should just grow into that role even more. And who else are they going to throw the ball to outside of Marvin Jones and Laviska Shenault?
And they're not even throwing the ball to Marvin Jones the last 2 weeks. It's
Yeah.
been very frustrating being a person who owns Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
in a
Well, I went to
season-long-
Dan Arnold, so you better go get him instead.
The other tight end that's kind of hot right now is Ricky Seals-Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because he
He had a decent amount of targets last week.
Yeah, he had a decent amount of targets last week. Logan Thomas is out
Logan
for
Thomas
a
is
couple
out.
weeks.
Yep.
And they're playing Kansas City.
Yeah, good matchup.
So again, if you're in a situation where you're hurting at tight end, Ricky Seals-Jones only has a 12% ownership on ESPN. So if you're looking for a tight end, I feel like this dude is going to kill it this week. I feel like he's guaranteed a touchdown at least.
I do not think he's guaranteed a
I
touchdown.
absolutely
I think he's guaranteed 8 targets, but I would not guarantee him a touchdown.
He's gonna get a touchdown against Kansas City. It's gonna happen. The game script's gonna.
We'll put it this
be in
way:
their
last
favor.
year, Logan Thomas was a target machine, right? Same offense.
Mm-hmm.
He had like 2 touchdowns. So why would Ricky Seals-Jones be guaranteed a touchdown
Well,
this week?
because he's playing. Because his one opportunity, his starting opportunity, or not his only. I think he started last week, but he has a starting opportunity against Kansas City.
I don't know.
And Kansas City is there's 2 sure things about Kansas City. They're really good at offense, and they're just god awful at defense.
Yep.
So
I mean, that's true. I'm not doubting that at all. But he's still Ricky Seals-Jones, and he's been pretty bad most of his career.
well. I like it. He got 8 targets. He got 9 targets last
9
week.
targets.
41 yards.
9 targets, but
5
still didn't do that
receptions.
much with it.
Still, I
think he's a decent safe play if you're really struggling at tight end, but you got to be in a pretty deep league because there's a lot of tight ends I'd rather play over him.
no. I mean, I love him. I'd play him over.
Would you play him over Dan Arnold?
I think I would, but I like Dan Arnold a lot, and that's who I decided to go with, mainly because I have
You
Trevor
like Dan
Lawrence.
Arnold more long term.
Yeah, and I like him more long term because
Yeah.
DJ Chark is out for the season. So immediate points, I feel like Ricky Seals-Jones will perform
I think
better.
I like Arnold more long term and this week.
Yeah.
He's got a
so-
good matchup too. Miami's not good defense.
No. Yeah, they both are sitting in pretty good spots. Let's see here. There's one. Okay, so another waiver wire potential pickup is Josh Gordon. How are you feeling about that?
Not super excited about Josh Gordon.
Not super excited.
If you have a free bench spot, I wouldn't mind stashing him, but I wouldn't have high expectations for him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've been here before several times.
Yeah.
When he was with Seattle.
He's been out of the
and
league for so long at this point.
He comes back in and out of the league constantly. We saw him with New England. We saw him with Seattle. And now he's sitting here with Kansas City, arguably one of the most productive offenses in the league.
Well, let's put it this way: Tyreek Hill is very questionable this week. Let's say he's out. How much do you like Josh Gordon now?
Oh, I like him even more.
Like you
So
trying to
they limited his his ability to produce anything last week. I think he did like maybe 20 snaps. No, he did 8 snaps, I think, last week. And they're going to increase those numbers this week. And if for some reason it comes out that Tyreek Hill is out, I mean, I'd like him even more. I feel like they're going to kind of slowly get him involved in the offense as he learns the playbook and knows how to run the routes and stuff.
So I got a flex. Would you start Josh Gordon or Ricky Seals-Jones?
Oh, Ricky Seals-Jones for sure.
Oh, man.
I would start Ricky Seals-Jones for sure.
All right.
Because mainly, it's a question mark still. I mean, I like
Wait,
Josh
this is
Gordon.
assuming Tyreek Hill is out.
Assuming Tyreek Hill is out. Oh, okay. All right. That's
Tyreek Hill's
hard.
out. Josh Gordon or Ricky Seals-Jones?
Oh, that's hard. God, I might start Josh Gordon in that scenario because who are they going to throw to?
Definitely more
Are
upside.
they going to throw to Hardman?
No, they're going to
They've
throw.
had two
I'll tell you what they're going to
throw
do.
to Hardman.
They're
They
going to throw
haven't
it to
done it.
Kelsey, and Kelsey's going to have like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. And yeah, Hardman will have some targets, but no, it's going to be Kelsey.
Oh yeah, Kelsey. But then and they're playing Washington. You're going to think that Washington's going to, if Tyreek Hill is out, they're just going to watch Kelsey constantly. They don't know what Josh Gordon can do. They know that Hardman can maybe occasionally catch a deep ball if he can.
Every team watches Travis Kelsey, and he still catches balls.
But I know, but they're gonna. But if Tyreek Hill's out and not out there, there's less distraction.
I don't think they have
any.
anybody that's going to shut Travis Kelsey down. I think
Right.
if Hill's out, I would count on Travis Kelsey being a major stud.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue against that, but I would think that it would still create some extra opportunities for, like, Josh Gordon.
Well, would you play, say Tyreek Hill's out, would you play Josh Gordon or McCole Hardman?
Probably Josh Gordon.
Really?
Yeah.
Hardman had a pretty good game last
burned
week.
me so many times, but
Hardman had a good game last week.
yeah, he did.
But that's because Kelsey and Hill went out.
Yeah. So I guess that you could use that as an argument as to why Hardman might be a better play than Josh Gordon. But we got another question. We got Cash's Stylist. Would you trade Kyler, Kupp, and Knox for Rodgers, Justin Jefferson, and Travis Kelce? And Gaskins? This is okay. So Kyler Murray,
This is a blockbuster trade.
Cooper
right here.
Kupp. This is a major blockbuster trade. And Knox for Rodgers, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, and Gaskins.
I would do that.
Cash. So I'm assuming that you have Kyler, Kupp, and Knox, and you're going to get Kelce, Gaskins, Justin Jefferson, and Rodgers.
I would do that. Travis Kelsey's the difference maker there.
Yeah. I mean, Gaskins.
I don't
had a
even
good
need
week.
Gaskin. He's just a throw-in.
I know, right? He had a good week last week.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence.
And I was kind
in
of
him.
high on him before the season started, but I haven't been impressed with.
But even last week, he had a good week, but he had 5 carries.
5 carries and how many? Do you remember how many targets he had?
A lot of targets, but I wouldn't count on him having that many targets
Right.
every week.
Yeah, he's basically a throw-in. But Justin Jefferson, Kelce, and Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
I would do that.
Kyler
I mean, I
Murray,
think
Kupp,
Jefferson and
Knox,
Kupp are
man.
pretty comparable. Rodgers is a slight downgrade from Kyler, but I think Kelsey's a pretty good upgrade over.
Well, what do
Knox.
you? I mean, like season-long wise, Jefferson versus Kupp. What do you? I mean, like how different is that?
If I had to choose, I would choose Kupp, but it's barely.
Barely.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
think
feeling
trading
pretty,
one for the other doesn't mean that much to me.
So
I think they're both going to be great.
Okay, so the difference is not much.
No.
He's saying Cash's stylist is saying, I'm a Kyler fan, but concerned about his shoulder.
Yeah, Kyler has not shown to be the pinnacle of health throughout his career. He is way more likely to get hurt than Aaron Rodgers, so that's certainly something to consider.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers has a pretty good history of staying healthy. So, I mean, and we saw week 1 that he sucked, but then every week past that, it's been like the normal Aaron Rodgers we've been used to.
And, man, if you're trading high on Knox to get Travis Kelce right now, you're doing it right.
Yeah, I feel like Knox is like the one of the most I mean, he's getting hyped now, but like,
I think he's a pretty good trade high candidate if you can do it, which you're doing right now. I think this is the right move.
Is it Cash's stylist? I'm curious. Is this like a one-season league or is this a dynasty league? Because even if it's a dynasty league, you got even more play there because I feel like Knox has some long-term value, right? Do you?
Yeah,
do you feel
and
that
I
way?
would definitely say that Kyler Murray is a way better dynasty play over Aaron Rodgers. So if it's some kind of
Oh,
dynasty
absolutely.
league, that definitely
We're
changes
reaching the
things.
end of our of the Aaron Rodgers era, right?
Yeah, we don't even know where he's going to be next year, or if he will be anywhere next year.
Wait, but he's losing Kyler. He's losing Kyler.
Yeah, you want to. I mean, if it's a dynasty league, you want to hold Kyler.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's what you're.
But if
It's
this
a
is a season-
redraft.
if this is a
10-team
season-long
okay,
league,
yeah.
I think it's a
a
great
redraft.
trade.
It's a redraft. So
You're
yeah.
good. I think this is a good
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah. No, that's. I feel like you're winning in
Yep.
that one. It would be my take. Okay. Do you got any other waiver wire pickups that might be off the wall or?
Yeah, one sneaky waiver wire pickup to me is Ramondre Stevenson.
How do you Stevenson?
Yep, he's the running back in New England.
Ramonde. How do you spell that?
Man, RHAMONDRE.
Ramonde Stevenson.
think.
Here he is. He plays for the Patriots.
Yep. So I think
Oh yeah.
I
yeah,
think
know who
he
this
is the best running back on the team. Damian Harris getting beat up every week, and at some point, I think Stevenson's going to take over and show that he's the best running back. And I think he could be a really good. You might not start him this week, but this might be a good chance to pick him up before this team gets rolling on him. Before you have to spend all your fab or use your highest
Right.
waiver wire priority type of deal.
You feel like it's Harris right now, isn't he? A little he's
Damian Harris.
questionable right
yeah,
now.
he's already questionable this week. He might miss this week.
So
You might even be able to start him this week. You won't know for sure.
he's
until
he's
Sunday,
only
probably.
6.8% owned across all leagues in ESPN right now.
He's obviously more of a deep league ag. If you're in like a 10-team really shallow league, you might not try to pick him up yet. But I think before the season's over, he's going to be definitely a top 24 running back in the league.
Okay. Do you got any other off the wall waiver wire pickups?
I don't got any other ones. I'd also just say make sure that Herbert is added because I think he's a really good play this week.
Herbert. Okay,
Yep.
so if you I mean obviously if you're in ESPN and you have Herbert, you're starting him every week, right?
Yeah, until Montgomery comes back.
Until Montgomery
Yeah.
comes back. Wait. I might be so.
I'm talking about Khalil Herbert for
Oh,
Chicago.
Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about Justin. You're thinking Justin Herbert.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. You're always starting Justin Herbert. He's pretty good at football.
So Khalil Herbert, let me pull him up real quick.
He's the running back in Chicago. He's taking over for Damian Williams, who's been ruled out this week.
Right, and that was pretty recent. I didn't even realize
That was
it.
just this afternoon.
Just this afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah, I had no idea that he was starting this week.
Yep.
21% owned across.
And he had a
ESPN
good
leagues.
week last week. He had like almost 20 carries last week.
Yeah, he scored. He scored. He had 18 attempts, 75 yards.
Yeah, he was
didn't
better
score
than
anything.
he was better than Damian Williams last week.
So yeah.
He just didn't get the touchdown.
Yeah. Khalil Herbert. Who's got him in our league here?
Brad's got him in our money league.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All
I was
right.
pretty disappointed. I have him in our dynasty league though.
You do.
I do. Yep.
Fantastic.
Drafted him in the 4th round.
Actually, so me and Josiah, we're in two separate leagues that we're pretty competitive in. One is a dynasty league where it's not a redraft. There's no redraft. The only new players you can get
Would be the rookies.
are ones that you trade for, or ones that you draft.
Yep. Which is a rookie draft. Only rookies.
Yeah, and last week before Kadarius Toney went off, I traded an injured Gallup for a 2024 second-round pick, just
And
straight
Kadarius
up.
Toney.
And I got Kadarius Toney.
Yep.
I traded Gallup for a 2024 second-round pick, and I received Kadarius Toney,
Yep.
which I'm feeling pretty good about right now. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I feel like
I did tell him the timing was pretty good on that because he wouldn't be able to swing that trade after.
Right,
this.
right. You could say that I'm a genius, looking at last week, but yeah, it felt pretty good.
That one worked out, but I'm still the one that's 5-0 in the dynasty league.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean, I was beating the dude I was playing by 50 points, but he had Lamar Jackson,
yeah, it's tough. To,
and I lost by 7 points.
at least you didn't have like Jackson and Andrews.
It was terrible. It was a terrible feeling. I went to sleep thinking I'm gonna wake up a winner tomorrow, and I didn't. I did not wake up a winner. It was a sad experience. But all right. So now we're what's our next segment? We're talking about
Trade targets or trade
targets.
candidates.
Trade candidates. So
Do you
who,
have any players that you would be trying to target to trade for the rest of the year.
Yes, I'm already targeting right now Michael Thomas. So
Thomas.
Right now it's week 6. We're coming into week 6. The Saints are on a bye.
Yeah, he's eligible to come back after their bye.
And it's looking like he's going to come back week 7. And I'm trying to do everything I can without losing major assets, but still giving the person that I'm trying to get it from some value. But I want to try to get my hands on Michael Thomas before,
I like that.
before week 7.
I think Michael Thomas would be a great grab. I think this is a hard time to trade for him because whoever has held on to him for 6 weeks
probably thinks the same.
Isn't going to want to let go of him at this point.
Right.
But if you can get him, I think that would be a great move because Michael Thomas is a stud, and if he comes back healthy, he should resume to that form.
Right. I drafted him last. So we do an auction draft. So you have and we do 4 keepers. So basically, if you pick up a stud for really cheap, you get to keep him next year for whatever price you paid off the waiver wire. So let's say you got, just for example, if you got Devontae Adams for $2 off the waiver wire last week, which was not a real scenario, that wouldn't have happened. But if that did happen, you'd get to keep him next year as one of your keepers.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you want to try to find the value before everyone else does, which is why I targeted Kadarius Toney in this league 2 weeks ago, and I paid $2 for him. We'll see if that pans out. But I forgot where I was going with this at the very beginning. But I think the guy that has Michael Thomas right now, he drafted him for $20. So if Michael Thomas comes back and is a stud again,
it's a great keeper.
It's a really good spot.
That's going to make it that much harder for you to trade for him.
I know, and that's one of the things you have to take into account whenever you're trying to get.
What caliber of player are you willing to trade for Michael Thomas?
Man, nothing really. Everyone, so you can see on the screen that I have like the most badass running backs in that you could possibly ask for. I got Derrick Henry, I've got Najee Harris, and I've got James Robinson, who have all scored around 20 points every single week. So guaranteed, if everything works out how it has been the last 3 weeks, I get 60 points right off the bat. And that's what everyone else wants from me. So
right, well, I'm gonna ask you a hard hitting question real quick. Would you trade Kadarius Toney for Michael Thomas?
I don't think so.
Ooh, man. I mean,
would you do that?
It's a hard one. You have Toney for I think $1, right?
$2. $2. I have Kadarius Toney for $2.
Yeah. I mean that's a hard one. I don't know. I think maybe not, only because you're 4-1 right now, which means it's not a big deal if you lose another game or two. And I think probably by the end of the season, Toney's going to be a stud.
And I remember now that you're asking this question, what I was getting at before I started talking about Michael Thomas on our budget-based season-long game. Last year, I paid $100 for Michael Thomas.
Yep, I remember that.
And he did not produce $100 worth of fantasy points.
He was worth $0.
And so he burnt me, and so I've got this bad taste in my mouth trying to target and keep a Michael Thomas. So, I mean, Kadarius Toney is new to me. He hasn't hurt me yet.
Right.
So most likely, currently, from my experience,
he's got another week coming up.
Even though he punched some dude and got ejected last week, I still was very happy with what he achieved.
You're lucky he's not getting suspended, actually.
Yeah. No,
actually, it might be in your best interest that he gets suspended, because then you can just bench him and instead of starting him and him scoring a few points.
Well, yeah, I guess. But who else is a trade target for you this week? Someone that's not quite as has been doing what they could be doing, but you feel like eventually they're going to get to that point.
Man, I got a couple trade targets in mind that I've been looking at if I can get them. One is Chase Claypool.
Okay, yeah.
I think Chase Claypool,
especially with Juju going out for the season.
Juju's out.
Yeah.
And Deontay Johnson's always getting hurt. I think by the end of the year, Chase Claypool is going to be a top 10 wide receiver.
I could very much agree with that.
But whoever has him always really likes him. Everybody's all about the Chase Claypool hype, so he's pretty hard to get. But if you can get him, I think he's going to be a great play. Another guy I like is Javonte Williams. I think
for Denver, the Denver running back.
I think by the end of the year, Javonte Williams is going to be a stud.
Okay.
Yep. I think even
let me pull that up.
Melvin Gordon's actually hurt this week. He'll probably play, but he's dealing with some injuries. If Melvin Gordon never went down, Javonte Williams would automatically be a top 12 running back. But I think by the end of the year, even if Melvin Gordon doesn't go down, Denver's just going to realize that Javonte Williams is the better running back. And no one can tell you what week that's going to happen necessarily, but at some point between now and probably the next 4 to 6 weeks, it's going to happen.
So he's had 14 attempts his first week, 13 is second, 12, 7, 8.
Right. I mean, right now
He's scored 1 touchdown so far, never scored more than 12 points.
He's just splitting time with Melvin Gordon right now, which is killing his value.
Yeah.
At some point, Denver's going to realize he's better than Melvin Gordon, and they're going to give him a majority of the work.
See here, my phone stopped. Oh, there it goes. It's just super delayed. Yeah, I mean, I like that call. I liked Javonte Williams early on in the season, but I didn't have enough money to get him in our league.
Yeah, he went pretty high. A lot of people.
I mean, we could actually see.
A lot of people bought into the hype, but I think this is the time to trade for him if you still believe in the hype, because he hasn't produced any numbers yet. So if you still believe in it, which his talent is still there, he's still shown. If you ever watched him play, he's clearly the better running back over Melvin Gordon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the other. Talking about like bad taste, the last time I tried to target a Denver running back, it was Royce Freeman in our dynasty league, and I took him in the I think the first round.
You could safely say he was a bust.
That did not end well for me, but yes, it was. So obviously, I didn't want to be too high on him because I'm a Denver fan. I love the Broncos, and that's Peyton Manning's fault. But yeah, is there another player that you would trade for?
Yeah, last guy I would love to try to get, who I think your window might be closing to get him, is Stephon Diggs. I mentioned him earlier because
that makes sense.
He hasn't put up quite the numbers that you've been hoping for. Like, he was a first or second round pick, and he hasn't quite shown those fantasy points yet, but they're going to come.
Yeah.
Their offense is ridiculous.
I mean, it's Stephon Diggs. I mean,
Emmanuel Sanders is the one lucking into all the touchdowns right now, and it just won't last. Emmanuel Sanders is getting all these touchdowns on like 3 or 4 targets a game.
Yeah,
it's just not sustainable.
It's ridiculous. Let's check his history here. He's had 13 targets week 1, only scored 11 points, which is kind of. And he caught 9 of them, still only got 11 points. That's crazy. 8 week 2, 10 week 3, 11 week 4, and 5 week 5. Never scored more than 15 points, which is kind of disappointing for Stephon Diggs. I'm telling you right
now, like if you can swing a trade for Stephon Diggs right now,
it seems like
it's the best thing you could do.
Right. Yeah. And his value will be lower than it normally is currently. But as soon as he has that big week, you're gonna have to pay a lot more.
Yeah. As soon as he has that big week, your trade window is closed. You won't be able to get him anymore, because everybody already likes Stephon Diggs going into the year. And as soon as he has that big week,
he was drafted as like one of the top.
Oh yeah, he was the top 3, top 4 wide receiver. As soon as he has that big game, everyone's gonna be like that's why I drafted him. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now let's move on to let's get rid of them while they're hot. Who would be your first person that you would get rid of while they're hot? I mean I'll say mine right now, and that is Cordell Patterson. Just shift it away. Just get rid of it while you can.
If you can get a good return for it, I would do it.
Do you feel like he has good season-long value?
I think he's a pretty safe season-long play. Like I don't think he's going to turn into nothing. But if you can sell him to somebody who thinks he's going to keep doing what he's been doing, then you should trade him, because I don't think he's going to keep putting up those kind of numbers.
It's kind of ridiculous. He's had like 20 points, 13 points, 32 points, 14 points.
Well, put it this way. I mean, in ESPN, he's running back eligible. I'm pretty sure he's a top 5 running back in terms of scoring.
He is.
He is not going to sustain that. So.
No, it does not make sense. He's 91% owned across ESPN leagues. In fact, whenever he was the hot waiver wire pickup, I was still not interested.
Yeah, I put no bid on him.
I put no bid on him.
I kind of regret it at this point.
I do
but...
now. I mean, I don't really, because I already have all my running back spots filled in in our league. But I mean, if I hadn't and I needed a running back, I would definitely regret not picking him up.
The thing is, though, he's basically he's the wide receiver 2 for Atlanta, who also gets 10 carries a game.
Right.
So that's a valuable player.
Wide receiver 2 for Atlanta gets 10 carries a game. Yeah, I mean, he can do it in multiple ways.
Yeah, you're gonna start him on your team no matter what. But if you can get good players in return for him at this point, then I would do it because
Right, because I mean he'll still put up points, but I don't think he can keep putting up the amount of points that
the amount of points he's
up.
been putting up are unsustainable.
Right. And what's yours? What's your sell him while they're high? What do you think?
Man, I got a couple. The first one probably be controversial after last week, but Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown. Oh yeah, and I mean I agree with that.
I think
for sure.
I've actually watched a handful of Baltimore games, and Marquise Brown hasn't looked that good. He's just been the only guy for Lamar Jackson to throw to, and this kind of brings in another guy that I wanted to talk about at some point, which is Rashad Bateman. I think when he gets healthy and he comes back, he's going to eat into Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown's going to be
Which Bateman's probably
a
a good
player.
waiver wire target because I'm sure there's a lot of leagues out there that don't.
If you have an empty bench spot and you want to stash a wide receiver, then Rashad Bateman is a great wide receiver.
Rashad Bateman, he's currently 13% owned across ESPN leagues. I feel like, and he's a rookie. And
Coming into the draft this year, Rashad Bateman was pretty well accepted as one of the 3 best receivers,
right,
as a rookie, and a lot of people didn't like him after finding out he went to Baltimore, but if you've watched Lamar Jackson play, he looks good. He throws the ball well.
He looks good, yeah.
He needs more receivers to throw to.
Yeah,
half the time when he throws to Marquise Brown, he don't even catch the ball.
There was 1 week where me, Juice, and Matt we started Marquise Brown, and he had literally 3 end zone targets that he just straight up dropped.
Yeah,
just couldn't keep the ball in his hands.
I mean, right now he's getting peppered with targets, and it's enough for him to put up fantasy points, but as soon as Lamar Jackson has another option, he's going to start looking at other options because Marquise Brown drops plenty of balls.
He does, and I've witnessed it, and I've been very frustrated.
Yeah.
So
and after the week he had last week, this is the perfect time to trade Marquise Brown and get yourself a good return on him.
Especially. Oh yeah, no, that is a. I would agree with that 100%. That he just scored. Let me check. I think it was 29
It was a
points.
lot, man. He had a great week last week.
It was crazy. Just Hunter Hensley in our league. Which
he had Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown
and
Mark Andrews.
And Mark Andrews.
He had all 3 of them.
All had great games.
That was like 100 points right there.
Yeah, he was playing Brad, and I thought Brad had it, and then he got literally like 110 points from these 3 players.
That was just
We should have posted this podcast in our text group with that league.
Right?
They would all love to hear us talk about how terrible we think Hunter's team is.
Yeah, how terrible Marquise Brown is. I'm sure we will get some texts about that one.
Yeah. So we got Jim E here. It says Devontae Smith or Khalil Herbert for PPR.
I'm assuming he's talking about this week or the rest of the season.
Are you talking about Jim E? Are you talking about for this week? Is this just like a start-sit scenario, or is this a trade?
I'll just answer for both. I would say if it's this week, I would start Herbert. But if you're looking for the rest of the season, I like Devontae Smith a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love Devontae Smith. He's getting. I'm gonna pull him up. He's been getting decent amount of targets. I like Hurst as a quarterback. Let's see here.
I think Smith has a pretty bad matchup tonight against Tampa Bay, so I don't have super high expectations.
I don't love his matchup today, but consistently this week. So he's talking about this week.
I would start Herbert.
You'd start Herbert?
Yeah, he's the only guy Chicago can give the ball to.
Okay.
They have no one else to give the ball to.
And their matchup today is Tampa Bay. And
Herbert looked great last week. He looked really good.
So you like Herbert. What I'm looking at Devontae Smith's history. On average, I mean, week 1 he had 8 targets. Week 2 he had 7. Week 3 6. Week 4 10, and then week 5 9. So he gets a very consistent amount of targets. So regardless of the matchup, he's going to have some kind of production. It really just.
I like Devontae Smith a lot the rest of the season. I think this is a bad matchup for him this week, and that's why I would start Herbert over him this week. But if I could trade for Devontae Smith, he's a great trade target.
Right.
If we were going to list a bunch of trade targets, Devontae Smith would be in my list for sure.
So Herbert, what's his matchup this week?
They're facing Green Bay.
And I'm not. Do you know how well their run defense is?
They're middle of the pack. Yeah,
okay.
They're fine.
So you feel like he's going to get more opportunity than?
Yeah, the thing is, Khalil Herbert's going to get 20 carries.
You think he's going to get 20 carries?
Yeah, they have no other running backs to get.
By the
ball
way,
to.
Josiah is a Chicago fan.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a Bears fan,
Yeah,
and I like Khalil Herbert. I mean, I've known that Khalil Herbert is good for a long time.
Right.
And this is him getting his opportunity. He's gonna get 20 carries this week.
Okay.
Damian Williams is out. David Montgomery's out. The only other running back on their roster is Ryan Nall, and he's not gonna touch the ball.
Okay. So it's like a one-man show
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna get 20 carries. If you ever have a chance to get a running back with 20 carries in your lineup, you almost always want to do it.
All right. Well, I mean, I can't argue against that. I love Devontae Smith, but it sounds like Herbert will probably get more opportunity to score some points. So that's where we sit.
But if you're looking for an add drop situation, I wouldn't drop Devontae Smith for this right here, because I think the rest of the season Devontae Smith will be better.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, obviously, Montgomery's going to come back. He's not out for the rest of the season.
And Damian Williams is on the COVID list, so he'll probably be back the following week.
Yeah, so it must be a flex spot he's trying to put it in, but
yeah.
But
if you have both of them on your roster, start Herbert. He'll score more points this week, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Is there any other sell them while they're hot targets that you have?
I would sell Antonio Gibson if I had him on any rosters, which I don't. But
this week, I would almost wait until after this week and then do it.
Maybe you could wait after this week.
Because he's playing Kansas City.
Yeah, you're right. He has a good matchup this week. But I think at some point I would be trying to trade him.
Yeah, I've never been. He had a lot of hype before the season started, and I didn't ever buy into it.
Well, the thing is, last week there was news that came out that said he had this bad shit injury, and it's just going to come down to pain management for him.
Right. Which,
to me, if that's coming out this early in the season, that's going to catch up to him before the season's over.
Right. So I mean, if you are selling Antonio Gibson and you're hurting at some spot, I would wait until after this week. And then do it.
I would try to keep him this week because there's just going to be a lot of touchdown opportunities
this
week.
Especially this week.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy's got another question. He's got Hawkinson or Dalton Schultz PPR start sit this week. I'd go Hawkinson. What would you do? It's Schultz.
A tough one, but I think I'd do Schultz.
You would do Schultz?
Yeah, Hawkinson.
We're not helping him at all right now.
I would do Schultz, and here's why. Hawkinson he literally just had one good week the very first week, and everyone remembers that first week because everyone's excited for week 1 of football. But since then he's been bad, and now he's injured. It looks like he's going to play, but he's probably not 100% healthy. And Dalton Schultz has been a stud.
That's true. All right, I can see that. By the way, guys, if you are watching right now, please hit that subscribe button. Please help us grow our audience. We are appreciating all the questions we're getting today. It makes it more fun for us and more fun for you, I guess, because we're responding to your comments. But yeah, so you like Schultz more than Hawkinson.
Man, Schultz has had more targets than Hawkinson all season. Except week 1. So, and Dallas's offense, a million times better than Detroit's offense.
So wait. So Hawkinson, if you can remember, I can't remember right now. Who are they playing this week? Detroit is playing
Cincinnati.
And then Schultz has
New England.
Yeah,
both of them are fine matchups. Both of them are fine. But Schultz has just been a lot better.
Yeah,
like I said, Hawkinson's good. I wouldn't want to sit Hawkinson at tight end, but if I had both of them and I had to choose, I'd choose Schultz.
All right. I mean, I can't argue against it. I would pick Hawkinson, but there is the question mark of how he's going to react coming off an injury, right?
Yeah, he got injured a little bit last year, and it looks like he's going to play. He's been practicing on a limited basis this week.
So it would suck starting him and then seeing that he has to leave halfway through the game and then see Schultz have like a pretty decent game.
Schultz has just been super safe, man.
Yeah, he's been pretty safe.
Targets,
and that offense is,
and they're targeting him in the red zone a ton.
I wonder. Do you know what's the pace record for the Dallas? Do you have any idea?
The pace record? What do you mean?
Like how fast are they compared to other teams?
Oh, like how fast is their offense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. Look at Arizona is I think they have the fastest pace.
At a very fast pace.
A very fast pace. I feel like Dallas must because they're always scoring lots of points. For the most part.
But at the same time, they run the ball a lot more than
That's
Arizona.
True. So. I mean, Pollard and Zeke are both.
Yeah, they've been Pollard and Zeke combined have been rushing for an average of 150 yards a game.
Yeah. So I guess that could be a concern for Schultz as well. But, I mean, he's still putting up numbers.
He's been, and especially in the red zone. And
Right.
Dallas is going to score 30-plus points this week. Schultz is going to have some red zone targets. I would bet on Schultz over Hawkinson.
Okay. So we like Schultz. Any idea about Michael Thomas? Actually, we talked about him maybe before you tuned in here. He is a trade target for me.
Mm-hmm.
So the Saints are on a bye right now, week 6, and they're coming back week 7. It's looking like Michael Thomas will be back.
Yeah, I've heard good reports that Michael Thomas looks good,
And
that
the
they're
Saints have
confident he'll
no
come
one
back.
to throw to right now. So
Yeah,
it makes
their wide
sense
receivers are
that
terrible.
they would throw to Michael Thomas. So if you have him stashed, get ready to be excited. If you don't have him stashed and there's someone else that's holding him that isn't that excited about him, I'd do everything you can without crippling your team to get your hands on him.
And honestly, even if you have Kamara, I would be excited about Michael Thomas coming back because
Because
he's going to open up opportunities.
Right, exactly.
For Kamara.
The focus won't be 100% on Kamara. I actually like Kamara a lot better once Michael Thomas is healthy. So, I mean, I'm very excited about a healthy Michael Thomas coming into the season.
Yeah, I think it's going to help the Saints in general as well.
Mm-hmm. So, any other trade them while they're hot targets?
Another
For you.
one, I'm not quite as strong on this one, but I would try to trade him if I could, is Deebo Samuel.
So you want Deebo Samuel?
No, I would try.
You would
I
get
would
rid
try
of
to trade
okay,
him.
no, you would get rid of him.
Yep,
okay.
I would try to trade him.
He's had a pretty consistent season so far.
He's been good this year. I just don't think it's sustainable. That's why I would try to trade him.
I had someone send me a trade, which you guys in the chat, let me know if you thought this was a good move. I can't remember how to spell Samuel here. Deebo Samuel. There he is. I had a trade sent to me, a straight-up trade for I have Najee Harris, and someone offered me Deebo Samuel just straight up. And my wide receivers aren't the most desired, but they're not terrible. And I could have accepted it, but I love Najee Harris so much that I just rejected it. But looking at his history here, Deebo Samuel, he had 12 targets week 1, 27 points. Week 2, 8 with 13 points. Week 3, 10 targets, 7 points, which is kind of impressive. You only scored that much with 10 targets. But week 4, 13, 31. Week 5, 14. I mean, he's for where you probably drafted him.
Yeah.
You're very happy with Deebo Samuel right now.
I just think he's going to fall off. That's why I
You
would
feel
trade
like
him.
he's going to fall off.
The thing is with Deebo Samuel, you got to remember, you might just look at his target count and go, yeah, this guy's great. But almost a third of his targets are targets behind the line of scrimmage.
Right. How many games has Lance started? Do you know? Like, how
Just
long has
one.
Garoppolo not been involved?
Lance has only played one game.
So with one game, with Lance being the guy,
was the last game.
He got 9 targets, 14 points. So it's not really enough to really decide whether or not
And it sounds like
he's gonna
Garoppolo's
affect
going to
his-
be safe when they get back from the bye. So it's going to be back to Garoppolo.
right.
But I think at some point, especially once Kittle gets back and healthy, he's going to get involved in the target share. And I think coming down the road, Brandon Ayuk will get a little bit more involved in that target share.
Right.
And Deebo Samuel is a guy who has a really hard time staying healthy.
Right. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be
He-
surprised to see
yeah.
him go down
We
at
lost
some point
him
down the road either.
for most of the season last year, right?
Same with the year before.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
this
it's
is
a
his
risk.
third year in the league, but
It's a risk owning him
Yep.
for sure. So Jim E's got another question. Will Damian Williams get more touches and lower Montgomery's value when Montgomery's back after his bit of exposure? Should I sell them both or hold on? What's your thoughts, Josiah? Especially being a Chicago fan, you've got to have a lot of thoughts on this.
my thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the best back of the three is Khalil Herbert. And honestly, I think if you can sell both of them right now and get something back in return, I would do it because assuming in 4 weeks all three of them are healthy, I think all three of them will get work and none of them will be very valuable in fantasy.
Okay.
That would be my expectation.
So you would sell them if you could for
I
something
would-
that you'd be
I would sell
happy to get.
Damian Williams and David Montgomery if you can get something reasonable in return for sure. Because I think long term, I don't feel super confident that they would that they would produce at a high level.
Oh, yeah, that's the lock and load. Go ahead and sell them while you can because Josiah is a Chicago fan, and he knows what he's talking about.
If you can pick up Khalil Herbert, if you can trade both of them and
then
pick up Khalil Herbert
off the waiver wire,
that's exactly what I would do.
That's what he's saying you should do. Actually, I'm going to check it up again. Let's see what Herbert's ownership percentage is.
Very low. I would bet that you can pick up Khalil Herbert right now.
And you said Brad has him in our league?
Yep.
So he's 21% owned, so you have like a 79% chance he's still available in your league. So Josiah is saying trade him while you can and pick up Khalil Herbert because it might be the best scenario you could possibly get in.
Yeah, that's what I would bet on, honestly.
So, all right. So I have one. So, and he's actually at the top of my thing. How do you feel about Mike Williams? Do you think he's going to sustain what he's been doing so far?
I think, honestly, what Mike Williams has been doing is probably pretty sustainable.
Pretty sustainable.
Pretty sustainable. But be careful because he hasn't practiced at all this week.
Right. So this week he might not play or might be limited.
And, the thing is, like, Mike Williams, the reason, he was a very high draft pick, very highly touted coming out of college.
Right.
And the reason he hasn't lived up to expectations is because of injuries.
Right.
And now he's got another injury creeping up. So I would be kind of careful. But assuming he's healthy, I got no doubts that he's going to keep producing at a high level.
Just keep doing what he's doing.
If he's healthy, I'm locking him in as a top 10 wide receiver.
He's produced every week. He had 1 week where he scored 1.6 points.
He's getting a ton of targets. He's getting more targets
But
than
every
Keenan
other
Allen.
week, yeah. It's been surprising to me. I was not interested in him at all.
Me either. And it's just because he was so highly touted coming out of college. I really liked him coming out of college. But this is like his 4th or 5th year in the league, and every year leading up to this year, he just can't stay healthy.
Yeah. He got drafted in our league, which is an auction league that you get to, with 4 keepers, that you get to keep your players that you, for the price that you drafted them for 1 year at least, and then it goes $10 up every year after that. But someone in our league got Mike Williams for $5. And that was one of the best value drafts I think so far.
I think this would be the hardest move to feel good about and to pull. But trading Mike Williams is probably a good idea.
That's what I'm asking you. Do you think like getting rid of him while he's hot? You feel like you get? I feel like you could get a lot for him right now.
You can get a lot.
At the beginning of the season,
this is what I think. You should trade Mike Williams for Stephon Diggs.
Oh yeah, I think I would do that for sure.
I think a lot of Stephon Diggs owners would do that too.
Yeah, week 1, I could have traded Mike Williams for Corey Davis. Week 1, I didn't do it because
you're regretting that one.
I'm absolutely regretting it because I just thought it was fluky that he got.
I would have thought the same thing. Honestly, I don't know if I would have accepted that trade at that time either.
So I missed out, and he's done so much more than Corey Davis has at this point. But yeah. All right.
It would be hard to trade Mike Williams at this point. Because he looks like a stud.
Yeah, you got to be excited.
Yeah.
To own him right now. He's projected on ESPN's algorithm 15.6 points.
I wouldn't be forcing
against
any
Baltimore.
trades to get rid of Mike Williams. I'll put it that way.
Right. So any other last trade them while they're hot calls?
I think the only one that comes to mind for me right now, and this is a kind of a minor one, but Darrell Henderson a little bit.
Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, he's been pretty good lately. He kind of falls in the Deebo Samuel role where he's been pretty good, and I think as long as he's healthy, he'll probably be pretty good.
96% owned across the ESPN leagues.
But this is another guy who has really struggled to stay healthy.
Yeah. Had a history of not being the most reliable dude to own, but
last year I remember he got really hyped up and had a couple good weeks, and then he went down, and same with the year prior.
Yeah. What's up, Matt? How you doing,
man?
Yeah, we're still alive. Oh yeah, we've had a decent amount of questions today too.
Wow.
It's been going good.
The chat is lively.
The chat is lively. Your mic is on, so they can't see you, but you can talk.
We're probably getting close to the showdown build.
Yeah, yep. It is time for our last segment of today of our Start Sit show.
How are the new mics?
Oh, they're fantastic.
New mics are killing it, man.
You sound godly.
I do sound godly, don't I?
But
did we get any sounds worked in today?
oh yeah, I did one. I did one.
One sound. What was the used sound?
It was a lock and load.
I did the lock and load. All right, so for this last segment, we are DraftKings players by nature.
There we go.
So we are going to build a showdown lineup because we are doing our first start sit show on Thursday. Start shit show on Thursday. So we're going to build a lineup here for DraftKings tonight. And
I gotta
hopefully,
be right back. I gotta take this call. It's a bell bondsman.
all right, sounds good. So we're gonna build a showdown lineup and hope we become millionaires at the end of the day. So,
I want to hear this lineup.
so Josiah, do you got your phone ready? Are you ready to help me out with this?
Sure, yeah, but I got a good idea of who I like in this game tonight.
All right. So who would you do? Who would you make your captain on DraftKings tonight?
Captain, I don't know about captain yet, but let me start off by saying two
Okay,
guys
you got
that
a
I know,
value play.
Two guys that I know I want in my lineup. Maybe
All right.
captain, maybe not, but these guys have to be in. Kenneth Gainwell
All right.
and Zach Ertz.
Kenneth Gainwell and Zach Ertz. I like Zach Ertz, especially against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay doesn't
Yep.
do the best against that position. I like it a lot, and he's 4,800.
Tampa Bay really, it's almost counterintuitive because Tampa Bay really shuts down the run. But they allow short passes like more than any other team in the league.
Okay.
And that's where Zach Ertz and Kenneth Gainwell both
that makes
thrive.
sense. That makes sense. And actually, whenever I said he was 4,800, that was putting him at the captain spot. In the flex spot, he's only $3,200.
Yeah, he's super
Zach
cheap.
Ertz.
I would definitely want to do at least one lineup with Gainwell at captain,
Right.
just because you could build a great lineup that way.
And then who do you think is going to be the dude today? I mean, we got Tom Brady against Philadelphia, and then Zach Ertz, who
I think the other guy I really want to get in is Godwin.
Godwin.
Yep.
I feel like it just starting off, if both Zach Ertz and Gainwell are going to produce pretty high numbers, Ertz has got he's going to experience benefits from both of those. I would probably put Hurts at captain in this lineup.
Oh, I love putting Ertz at captain.
So-
Goddard is out, and I think Ertz is going to lead the team in receiving
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
if it's not Gainwell.
I like that a lot. And even with that, we have $8,900 left for the last three spots. Where we got where Godwin's 94, Devontae Smith is 88, Antonio Brown is 82, Fournette is 7,800. Let's see, like how does Philadelphia do against the run? They're decent. It looks like they're 21st ranked off the DraftKings rankings.
I mean, there's got to be some Tampa Bay receiver.
Right.
You got to choose one of the Tampa Bay receivers.
That's the thing. It's a toss up. You never know. You never
It's
know.
toss up, but honestly,
See,
I think Tom Brady is pretty known for feeding the guy who hasn't got his share.
so you think Mike Evans?
No, I think Godwin.
You think? Oh yeah, no, Mike Evans and Antonio Brown had
Yeah.
great weeks. So
Right.
Godwin. Oh no, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Tom Brady's pretty well known for
Making sure everyone
feeding the
gets
guy
enough
who
food.
hasn't been getting his share.
right.
And
right.
Godwin runs more routes than any of them.
Yeah.
So he's on the field the most.
So I'm gonna lock in Godwin there. So now we have $8,600. We got two spots left. We got Hurts at captain, Ertz, Gainwell, and Godwin. Miles Sanders has been a major disappointment this year for anyone that owns him. Luckily, I'm not one of those people. I was not interested in him at
I think
all.
honestly, I could have even brought him up during the trade target segment, but I think Kenneth Gainwell is going to take over Sanders' job at some point down the road.
I feel like that too, which is why he's sitting on my bench.
Yeah. And I think that was a great pickup. I tried to pick up the same week you did, and you put in $1 more than I did. But I think Gainwell, before the end of the year is over, he's gonna take over that running back job for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that for sure. All right, so we've got two spots left. Who's the tight end behind Gronk? I can't remember right now.
There's Cameron Brate and
it's
O.J.
Brate
Howard.
and O.J. Howard. I'm not really interested in either of those, honestly.
I don't think I am either. I mean, how much money do we have left on this lineup? Do we have enough enough to get one of the top receivers?
Oh
in?
yeah, we've got $8,600 for both spots. So
Well, I feel like we should probably go Tom Brady. We're betting on this game being high.
oh yeah,
scoring.
Tom Brady. Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can, and then we got 4,900, which we have Brait and Watkins available at that point. And
I
then,
feel like we should go down more.
really, Watkins, I feel like might have a good week this week.
Maybe, but I feel
they
like
were just. I
when
read
it comes to
several
showdown
reports.
lineups, I feel like your best bet of winning is leave money on the table.
Yes, that's true, but I feel like Watkins. They were even talking about this week. I was reading that he's taking Rager's job, Watkins. And
Problem with showdown lineups. Let me just jump in here.
absolutely.
Is if you're playing in a tournament, right,
Yep.
and you don't start the chalk, and the chalk blows up, you lose.
You lose that immediately. Yeah.
So you have to make the decision going into a tournament whether you're willing to accept if the chalk hits, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if the chalk hits, you have to have a perfect lineup to distinguish from the chalk, right?
Right.
Right.
So your chances of winning are slim. So I'm a contrarian. I try to go anti-chalk and showdown, like way anti-chalk. Like I try to find the cheapest player that I think is going to score double digits, and that's who I start, because then you can do what I call 2/3 everybody, right?
Right.
For instance, if Lamar Jackson is going to be everybody's showdown captain, and you start Hines, the running back for Indianapolis that only costs $5,000, you're going to be able to fit Lamar Jackson. There, sounds much better.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to fit Lamar Jackson in your lineup, right? So you're taking 2/3 of his captain points,
Right.
right? He's only getting a third of his captain points. You're getting 100% of Hines points, right? Now, if Lamar Jackson does what he did Monday night, it doesn't matter. You're not going to beat Lamar Jackson, even if you're taking 2/3 of his captain points, right?
Right.
So there's two styles to it that I have found is either you go super chalk or super contrarian. If you go super chalk, you better have some distinguishing thing in your lineup, like all the field goal kickers
Right.
or both defenses. Something that makes it completely contrarian to the rest of the chalk, or you just can't win,
Right.
right? So I love Showdown. I think Showdown is actually more popular in DraftKings than standard.
I love doing showdowns too.
Oh yeah. Showdowns are a ton
It's
of
all
fun.
one game, you're watching it.
More people are doing Showdowns than doing what we do,
Right.
building lineups in the pivot, right?
Right.
on the main slate.
So I think this is going to be a really popular segment because
Yeah.
I think people need some strategy when it
Right.
comes down to this. Because
This is kind of what I think about our lineup that we have right now.
so where are we? Can I see what you guys
Yep,
put up?
this is
Yeah,
what
go
we
back
got.
a little bit.
This is what we got so far. We got one spot left. We got Hurts at captain.
I think we shouldn't put Hurts at captain. I think we should play Hurts, but not him at
See,
captain.
so I think if I was playing this game, I would assume everybody's going to play Hurts and then fire every Tampa Bay they can fit in behind it. So you guys are actually going to be contrarian to chalk because the chalk's going to be Hurts and then every Tampa Bay player they can fit. That's how I would play it, right? Because you're taking pretty much the engine away from Philadelphia and you're going with the high-scoring team, right?
Yeah.
If I was playing tonight, I think chalk is Hurts, and then you should assume it's going to be every Tampa Bay player you can fit under Hurts. I would play it differently. I would probably go Gainwell as my captain.
oh, I like that.
Gainwell. You like Gainwell
Well,
as the
my
captain?
thought
yes.
is-
Do you
I
know
don't
why,
like-
though?
I
Do
don't
you
like Hurts
understand the
at-
math of this?
Why?
Yeah.
Why is Gainwell your captain?
Because we're going to steal their captains. Like, there's nobody they're going to be able to play at their captain that we're not going to be able to afford to put in our regular lineup. So we're 2/3ing their captain. Who else is going to play him at captain?
Yeah, he'll be like 3% owned again.
Right.
Yeah,
so
probably-
you're getting
probably pretty
100% of your captain point. I mean, somebody might 2/3 you, right, and play him in a regular lineup as not as captain. But by putting Gainwell at captain, you're going to be able to afford Hurts, Brady, probably your choice between Evans and right. Like there's just going to
So yeah, if I put Gainwell at captain, we got Tom Brady, Ertz, who they're missing Goddard this week. So we're
try the strategy I said. I'm not saying you should do it. I just want to see how it works tonight. Try playing Gainwell with no other Eagles. So just only Tampa Bay running it back.
this is where we're thinking on Ertz real quick before I take him out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
There-
Ertz is a
there's
lock.
no-
No, I
Goddard.
think you guys should play Ertz. I just want to see what it would look like because I think that's going to be the chalk. Actually, that's pretty chalky right there. What you have right there might be.
So you want me to take everyone out except
Take
for-
everyone out. Leave Gainwell. Leave Brady. Leave Godwin.
Oh, leave Brady.
Is Godwin your favorite out of Evans and Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We like
Josiah
Godwin
was
the
saying
best.
was that, which I agree with, is that so last week They had Antonio Brown and Mike Evans both having just
I
phenomenal
think Godwin
games.
I think Godwin's a good call tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that play with
Okay,
these
so-
three players,
so
we got
try-
8,200.
We're an average of 8,200.
Average of 8,200.
Okay, we'll put Evans in. You got to have. I think another. I mean, we're just doing this lineup just to see. Another possible captain is Fournette, but I think that will be pretty popular too, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, well, everyone's pretty popular at some
So you
degree.
put Evans in. We still have 2 spots. What's our average now?
7,200.
Who's the tight end? Put Braid in.
Brait.
Yeah, because Gronkowski's out, right?
Yep.
So Braid's going to be cheap.
And we got 9,600 left in the last
No, I
spot.
wouldn't be surprised if the tight end to own is OJ Howard.
So 9,600. That puts us on Devontae Smith, right?
Yeah, that's the top option right now.
Man, it'd be okay. Well, you see what we were trying. So we could put Devontae, we could put Fournette, we could put Brown. Anybody we like, we could put in there, right?
Right. But I
You
feel
see
like
how the strategy works. I'm not saying that's what you should do.
Right.
Clear that out. I just wanted to show how that works.
I like putting Gainwell
That's
at
going
Well,
captain.
I think actually is we should put Ertz at captain.
That's going to be.
Oh, Ertz. Actually, I love that a lot because
he's really cheap.
he's
tonight.
really
He's
cheap.
almost as cheap as Gainwell. And
Right,
Tampa
you're going
Bay-
to be able to do the same thing,
Yeah.
and you had a gap where there are players below that you actually
Yeah.
would rather play than those other players.
Right.
So it makes sense to take some of that.
No
So-
Goddard.
Goddard's
Tampa
out.
Bay is terrible against tight ends, and it just makes sense.
I
feel
think that's your captain, but it may be chalky, but I like it.
and I
I don't care. I think it's.
I'd
good.
want to go
No, I
back.
think
It
that's
doesn't
good.
matter if it's chalky or not.
No.
Whoever the best player is has to be in at captain, or you won't win.
So
Right.
what is just so I understand, what is your guys' narrative of tonight's game? What are we projecting? Like score
What's your Tell me your expected final score of
Yeah,
tonight's game.
this is going to help a lot build a lineup.
Tonight's game. Probably, I'm thinking like probably 28-21 or something like that is what I would assume.
I think there's going
Really?
to be more field goals kicked.
More field goals kicked.
I would have said that
28-24.
I would expect the tonight's score to be Tampa Bay wins 35-24.
I like that. I don't. There's no way they're going to put a Thursday night game where Tampa Bay scores like 15 points, right?
No.
So Tampa Bay's going to score some
I
points.
think we want both quarterbacks. It's going to be high scoring.
Yeah,
I
so
think
you definitely
I like
want both
Ertz at
quarterbacks.
captain.
I like Godwin.
Gainwell and I like Godwin.
But I don't know that you're going to need Gainwell, right? Are you going to need that savings? I would go
I
Bray.
think I wouldn't be
Bray,
surprised
too.
if Gainwell catches like 9 balls tonight.
The only one that I'm interjecting that I like is Bray, right? Because with Gronkowski out,
I'm not sold on break. I don't.
Okay,
it
well,
might be OJ Howard.
The only reason why
right.
I'm not sold on Bray is because we just had a couple weeks where Gronk was out.
was out last week.
Okay.
and he didn't produce
Then
very much.
Let's go Fournette then over Bray.
So if we're where we're at right now, we got Ertz at captain, Brady, Gainwell, Godwin, and then Hurts. We got 9,200, and we can get Devontae Smith, Antonio Brown, Fournette are the top 3 options.
I would go Fournette Brown if that's a thing. If that's
So out of
what's your pick, Cuz? Where would you go? What would you add those 3?
I would go. I feel like I wouldn't go Fournette.
You guys don't love Fournette. I'll be honest. I have him on a lot of season-long stuff, so I'm hoping for good Fournette. So that might be more hope than anything.
I can see that.
I like
I
doing
don't know.
showdowns and leaving a lot of money on the table.
I do too. I think it's another strategy because you're then, like you're saying, contrarian, right?
Right.
Because
I
most
mean,
people
if
try to.
Tampa Bay is
If
going to
you
be
do
in
a
the
showdown
lead,
lineup and there's no money left, guaranteed hundreds of other people have that lineup.
I can actually see
If we have Tampa Bay scoring 5 touchdowns, then I think you're going to have to be pushing more Tampa Bay in the lineup from here on out, right?
Actually, I can see a very contrarian. I mean, I can see Fournette actually being a pretty good play tonight because Philadelphia is not the best against the run, and if everyone else in the same situation, they'd probably pick Devontae Smith or Antonio
you know what
Brown
would be
over that.
fun? Can we do this for the fans? I mean, unless you guys are in a hurry, can we have Cuz build a showdown lineup and Jared build a showdown lineup just so we can?
Boom, yeah, remember that's
Yeah,
actually
that's the whole point of this
we should
show,
do
right?
it.
So
Yeah, let's do it.
Let
Let's do
me
it.
decide. I think I am going to go with Fournette here.
And then I'll be more than happy to share my opinion on which one I like better.
So I'm going to lock that one in, and then I'll hand the phone over to Josiah.
That way I can shut up and you guys can build your lineups, and then if you need my opinion on what you want to put in there, I'll be more than happy to share it.
Here you go.
So what do you build here? You put
I
in Fournette.
I put Fournette in because Matt sold me on it. I feel
Okay.
like he does have the opportunity for it, and
With with Gronkowski being out, I think there's just more
Yeah,
natural,
no,
more
I can
running.
see that. I can see
more
that.
running
So I
back.
think I'm gonna go Godwin at captain.
Ooh, you're just going highest. So you're
I like
for the
Godwin
people who are
tonight.
listening that are learning. You're going with the strategy with just highest projected points, right? That's your guy.
I think he's gonna score the most
Yeah.
points.
So
right?
that's
Right.
that's right. And you have Tampa Bay scoring about 5 touchdowns, so you're gonna want to be heavy Tampa Bay.
And I'm hoping 2 of them goes to
Ertz,
Godwin.
Yeah,
Godwin.
Yeah. No, I'm still gonna play Ertz and Gainwell.
I'll have to
because I
admit,
think-
Antonio Brown looks like the eye
he
test
does.
is Antonio Brown looks like old
He
Antonio
looks
Brown.
very good.
Do you guys play Madden?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So do you guys download like super rosters with like all-time greats and stuff?
I haven't downloaded rosters, no, but yeah, we play Madden.
So there's one guy who puts out sick rosters, like with all like Bo Jackson, and he takes the time to try to find the old Antonio Brown is unstoppable. I mean, you just like if you pair him up with like Moss or somebody on that game, and it's just anyway.
Yeah.
We could have another podcast on
Yeah, right.
on Madden strategy.
All right, here's what I got. Tell me what you think here. So I got Godwin at captain.
Tom Brady.
I got Tom Brady.
So just because I like teaching the listeners, you're going to imply. I heard you say you're going to probably leave some money on the table.
Yep.
That
Yep.
makes you a little different.
This one's leaving me $1,900 on the table.
Okay, that's a lot.
Okay.
So
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
that's going to leave you
Pretty
way
contrarian, I would
Yeah.
way
say.
different than a tournament field.
Yeah.
Now, can we see this graphic or no? We don't
It's
have.
up there.
Oh, we
Yep,
do?
it's right here.
Oh, cool, man! Look
Yep,
at you
so
guys.
you can see it. So then I got Tom Brady. I got Antonio Brown. So I think that's where all the scoring is going to be for Tampa Bay.
I love your lineup.
And then I got Ertz.
I don't think you have any zeros. So that's the big
Right.
thing. Is a lot of people go high ceiling and leave zeros in there.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they play like a $400 guy. And
Yeah.
then, like, he might
Yeah.
throw 0.
No,
but
you
well.
have
We'll see.
you have no zeros. I
Right.
believe there.
I think Philadelphia is going to be playing from behind, and they're going to throw a lot of short passes to Ertz and Gainwell.
I like it.
I like it.
that's
I
a
like the lineup.
well-designed
All right,
lineup.
so save
Good
that,
narrative.
and then let's give the phone to Matt, and let's let Matt build a lineup.
I'm gonna be really
Wait,
quick.
save it. You didn't save it.
I saved it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
already got it. What are you
This is
talking about?
just,
It's
like,
entered
the-
in.
It's just a
screen.
little
According
delayed,
to
I
the
guess.
phone, it's entered in $1,200 worth of lineups. What are you
Go
talking
to
about?
go to the millionaire one. So hit
Here,
the
hit me.
yeah. I'll get you.
know,
I'll get
yeah,
you.
we'd be here all day.
I'm gonna be very entertained in tonight's game. One of us is gonna win me $1 million.
That's what it's all about. We got to get Cousin Jared competing here. I'm just throwing a lineup together here.
Let's see what Matt can put together for us.
We're definitely gonna. I talk. Oh, Fournette's just so expensive. I'm gonna go cheap captain mode. I want to try to fit all the, and I'm gonna take. Ooh, I'm just gonna go complete. No, I'm gonna go. I've been talking him up. I'm gonna go Brait at captain,
All right.
which means I have
Great
to.
at captain.
we got
man.
some-
If you're
Yeah.
correlating lineups, you
How
got.
many targets did he have last week?
I don't even know. Who cares? Those
It's
are
in there.
facts.
I can't
Those are-
check because I don't
who
have my
needs
phone.
targets?
Those are facts. Those are facts that we're not dealing with. Who is this guy?
Targets are overrated.
Who brought in stat guy here? I mean, this is a field sport here. I don't know what you think this is. Okay, this
Play
is
Blaine Gabbert. I'm feeling like he's gonna have a good game.
yeah. Okay, mine fit like a glove. Yeah, I mean you can clearly see. As it comes up here for us to see. I went with Brait at the captain position. I'm a cheap captain guy. It leaves up. I'm trying to leave a lot of bulk, so that
So we got Brady at captain. We got Tom Brady at the flex. We got Antonio Brown, Fournette, Gainwell, and Hurts.
and those are all blockers. You know what I mean by blockers?
I like this lineup.
I'm trying to block everybody's captains.
I mean, I like we said, I don't love Brait, but you never know. They're not.
Brayton is fully capable of
Yeah.
touchdown. We
Yeah,
agree
you
on
never
that,
know.
right? We all agree on that.
Yeah.
Is he capable? Is he high ceiling? No.
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 Is he terrible floor?
Best case
yeah.
scenario,
But-
Brait has
but-
like 50 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Best
Right.
case, that is best case scenario for sure. I
Right.
mean, if that comes with like 7 catches, maybe 6 catches.
But people aren't
maybe
going to pick
6.
him as captain because you got value like Ertz and Gainwell. So this might be a pretty contrarian
Yeah, Brait's
lineup.
not gonna be highly on captain guy.
So
So I'm going with the concept that I agree with Cuz that I said I agree. I want as much Tampa Bay. Unfortunately, I do agree. I did not play. The only guy that I'm not playing that you guys love is Ertz, right?
right.
Yep.
Yep.
I would rather have Ertz than Brait. But
Okay, save that somehow so we
Yep.
can.
So those are the 3 lineups. We'll know at the end of the night who did the best.
Please, anybody in fan chat, if you guys are still out there, please give us any thoughts on
Yeah.
the 3 lineups that you'd like to share.
Right.
I'm prepared for anything. I do think Herbert's a great pickup for PPRs. I think he just has the potential of being. I like Williams as a back, but just reading in the chat here,
Yeah.
I like Herbert. If you're in a deep 20-man bench type thing, Herbert is a must pickup. Like,
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
not
that's
a-
what
he's
Josiah
not
was saying. on
He's
that,
not
yeah.
allowed to be on the waiver wire. And if Hawkinson or Dalton Schultz start, that's a start question. If they were still on your waiver wire, you need to just quit that league.
But yeah.
We're here for that advice too.
Right.
If you want advice on whether you should just quit your league or not, I'm sure we'll share that. Right? We're happy to answer those questions. for you.
Absolutely.
Yep. Quit that league.
But so we're
So what credentials did you give these guys as far as
we went through credential. We told them all about the
they
league.
know
that
who
we're
you
in.
guys are? I mean,
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. We went through our
We got
history.
the producer of the pivot.
Yep, the
Yeah.
producer of the pivot. We went through.
We've got Cuz, who was one of the first guests on the pivot.
yeah,
who-
one of the first
Yep.
guests.
and you guys are lifelong successful fantasy league players.
yeah.
I mean, like successful fan. Yes, season long. Yes.
So,
DraftKings.
would you describe yourself as a high stakes player? Or are we middle? Like,
I'm a middle. I'm in the middle of the.
I would say middle.
What
I'd
about
say
you,
both
Cuz?
middle.
Yeah, middle.
And
Middle
like,
for
how
both
many
of us.
teams do we own? How many teams are we balancing each weekend?
Season long, I have 5 that I
I
care
think I have
about.
4,
You got.
Yeah,
and I try to keep it low just because it's hard when
I
it gets
remember
too
those.
high.
I remember these days.
yeah. So
How much financially invested do we think we are in season long?
Season long. Well, let's see here. About $145. It's not a
Seriously?
ton.
Okay.
I
That's it.
was gonna say 150, probably about the same.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
you guys know there's a whole world of high stakes. fantasy.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
And I would probably take everyone's money.
Actually, a majority
It's so
of the
much
leagues that
fun.
I'm in are very low stakes.
The high
I'm
stakes.
in a couple that
going
are.
out to Vegas on the first weekend of the NFL. I'm going to just give
But I told you,
Scott and the boys at WCOFF or
I
whatever
want
it
to
is
be
now.
a part of that. I want to.
I think you guys need to be out there next year. I think we need to do the pivot out there next year
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
in the big house with the pool, right?
Yep.
And
What was your buy-in for that league?
I
You don't mind?
I don't mind sharing.
Sharing.
I won't go into my partners or anything, but I would say I am at least $3,500 invested
Okay.
in season long.
in season long. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm a small percentage owner in some teams that. Well, actually, I don't even own those teams this year. In the past, I've been a small percentage owner. No deal was worked out this year, and we're well into it. So I'm not. But I have 8 teams in the World Online Fantasy Championship, $50,000 to first.
Oh, nice.
Last year,
Dear
there were
God.
2,900 teams in that league, and we finished 5th and 18th.
Wow. So what does 5th win in that league?
Last year, nothing.
Oh, nothing.
And
So-
that was because of the pandemic.
Oh, I see.
This
Okay.
year, it
Oh,
would win
wow.
like 14,
Oh, okay.
15,000.
All right.
But we won. We had 2 teams finished that were in the top 15 for most of the year, which was cool. Like, so we do it. It's kind of like stream salmon swimming upstream. You know,
Yep.
God produced millions of them because 98% of them die, and then like 2% of them swim
Right.
off, and you root for those 2%. That's how high stakes fantasy football works. You want to draft volume. You need to draft in your portfolio as if it's, what we tend to do is get overweighted on certain players. So we have multiple teams dying the same death,
Yeah.
and that's just bad investing. Period. Right.
Right.
And so that's our weakness. But you get high on a player and you think they're good value and you want that good value, and if that good value hits, you have it on every team. For instance, we're high on Corell Patterson this year. We have
That's
tons
Oh
of
wow.
Patterson.
That's,
So far,
that was
that's
a,
working
yeah.
out.
That's been a great play. So
I give
far.
Toby full credit for that. He picked him up like week 1 because we were heavy on the starter, so
Right.
we had to be heavy on.
We
on,
both said Cordero Patterson to sell high.
Yeah. At this point is what we were saying. sell
I
high.
believe it.
Yeah.
I have him in ESPN league that he's yet to play.
But honestly, you probably picked him up to the waiver wire.
So
We
he's
did.
been,
Waiver
he's
wire,
been
right?
on your bench the whole time.
So he's
you
not
said?
costing you
no, we
anything.
picked him up like week 2 because
Yeah,
we had a
okay.
lot. Mike Davis, right? That's the
Right.
start. We were heavily invested in Mike Davis, so we needed some protection.
Yeah, so that didn't cost you a lot, so it's not
Yeah.
a
No,
big deal.
Yeah,
but
makes
those
sense.
leagues ad drops are done by money. Like you get
Yeah,
1,000, and then you in the high stakes leagues you have to use part of that 1,000 to establish your draft position, meaning you bid on what draft position you get.
Right.
And so, and then whatever's left over you use on free agency.
Yeah.
So the big one that we're dealing with, and as you know, we're going to do this on Tuesdays next week because
Right.
was Booker. We spent a lot of money on Booker. What do you guys
Mm-hmm.
think about Booker? I wasn't here for that.
Booker. I mean,
Short term.
Short term. I'm excited about him. I mean, he produced last week.
Yeah.
So as long as Saquon's out, I feel like Booker's a good pickup and a
Yeah.
good hold, and even after Saquon comes back, he's always injured. So I'm like in our dynasty
Yeah.
league, I picked up Booker before the season started because I thought that we're gonna run into a situation where Barkley's gonna do something that.
So we don't care how long this show is, right? So did you guys hear about this whole industry standard with, they call it zero dark running back? Do you know what I'm talking
No,
about?
no, no.
Or zero sum
fill
running back?
us in. Fill
Yeah,
us
is
in.
it 0 RB or whatever.
Yeah, so there's a new
Yeah.
theory in season long that RBs are way overvalued, like RB1s and RB2s. And that
because they get hurt.
because of injuries
Right.
and because of just the changing throughout the
Right.
course. I mean, you can see with like Alvin Kamara, his first 3 games, he was worthless, right?
Right.
But Tyreek Hill had already had 150 fantasy points, right?
Right.
So in the industry, drafting wide receivers is the big thing. But what it does is it makes those people like Booker tremendously valuable, right?
Right,
Because everybody's fighting for the same guy,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because if you're drafting 5 wide receivers before you draft your first running back, you're thin at running back. So
Yeah.
unless you got like Leonard Fournette and some of the mid rounds that are hitting this year,
Right, which there aren't very many.
Henderson was one that I thought was
Yeah.
undervalued going in. You're scrambling for running backs right now in high stakes leagues probably, and
Usually,
so
yeah, people that go that RB strategy, what they're betting on is finding running backs on the waiver wire.
right, yeah, always. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying these type of pickups, these type of shows are important because
Mm-hmm.
there are high stakes players out there that are having to make some
Yeah.
tough decisions of how to spend their money.
Right.
And so a lot of times Booker's going to go for probably $300, and
Yeah.
if you get 1,000,
Well,
if
who
we're
would
going
you,
if
who
we're
would
going
you
on
pay
increments
more
of it,
for, Booker or Darrell Williams?
That's a good
They're in a very
question.
similar position.
they are. I'd go Booker.
Yeah, I'd
Really?
go. We
I
actually have
said
a
I'd go
question,
Williams.
a new question here. We got PPR pick 3: Amari Cooper, Antonio Brown, Devontae Smith, or Michael Pittman. I'm assuming he's
This week?
asking us which one he should start based off a PPR pick 3. So pick 3 out of those wide receivers: Amari Cooper, Antonio Brown, Devontae Smith, and Michael Pittman. Who would you sit?
I think there's 3 obvious. Oh wow, actually,
This week, I would sit Smith.
Devontae Smith. I
So
would agree with that. Yeah.
Pittman's getting crammed targets right now.
Oh, yeah, he's
like
getting 10 targets.
We
literally
were talking about that today. Like,
force-fed targets.
Yeah,
Force-fed
he's
targets.
the only guy that catches the ball on that team.
yeah,
yeah, he's
Literally, almost literally.
I feel like one of the most.
I think he had
undervalued
like 11
players.
completions and 9 of them were to, yeah.
And that's been almost every week as far as
Yeah.
targets. He just finally got the catches last
So
week.
Pittman's a must.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
start Pittman. I would
think
start
Brown-
I think
Cooper out
Brown's a
too.
must.
Brown. I would start Amari Cooper. I would probably sit Devontae Smith this
Boy, that's
week.
a tough sit though.
Yeah, it is a tough.
Yeah, but it's a
because
tough matchup this week.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with sitting in this week.
Cooper's
Right.
a little banged up. I mean, I would
It's
watch.
true. He's got a questionable tag this week.
I still
I would
wouldn't
watch.
sit him.
Yeah,
He
and
could show
I mean,
up with
obviously,
10 catches for 200 yards.
yeah, I forced him out of our cash lineup a couple weeks ago, and it almost cost me. God, sucking down a cash lineup at 11:58 is
Yeah,
tough.
that is very
Yeah.
tough. It's a lot of last minute
It's
decisions.
just nobody you're ever planning on playing. You're just playing floor guys. There's
Right.
nothing fun in playing floor guys, right?
Yeah.
Like, boy, I'm just gonna say, who is this, Alex? Devontae Smith is a tough sit this week.
But yeah, I think we're all the consensus here. We agree that Smith is probably the sit for this
I think
week.
we agree that this question is definitely kind of a humble brag, right? Like,
yeah, that's a
humble brag.
good team. That's a
Look
well.
how good my team is.
That's a well drafted wide
Oh yeah,
receiver
that's a
core.
humble brag.
And the good thing about that
I got
wide
these
receiver
4
core is
great
there is,
dudes.
look at this wide receiver core. There is no high round picks there. So this guy's running back's got to be sick. But Alex, finish it off. Send us
That's
your
true,
running
that's
backs.
true.
I'm excited to see what you paired with these receivers.
Yeah, that's it's very
he
interesting
must
that you
have
have
got
all
RB
4
heavy
Yeah,
of
because
these.
I mean, what are we at? We're
Amari
for-
Cooper was probably the first one drafted, and he was probably
fourth,
Fourth or
yeah,
third round.
late
Yeah,
third,
right.
maybe fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably third, depending on if it's a 10-man or
if
12-man
it's a
league.
12-team league, he's a third-round pick probably, but that means he probably
High
drafted 2
stakes,
running
he's
backs.
going earlier.
Right.
He's probably a second. So if that's a high stakes team, that's more likely. But I still want to see your running backs because I'm guessing you're winning some games.
Yeah, you must have a good record. If Alex, if you're still out there, we're very curious how your record is.
I'm going
and who
Devontae
your running
Smith
back-
versus Khalil Herbert on that other question. I don't know what you guys fell on that one.
Where is it?
Devontae Smith or Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we went
He
with
said Khalil
Herbert.
Oh wow.
Is
But
that what?
Damian Williams is out. Did you see that?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yep.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happened
So
this afternoon.
Herbert.
Oh wow.
Herbert
a
is the
huge
dude.
pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We might even need to
So-
consider
so
him
people
for
who-
daily fantasy. This
Yeah,
week.
people who are just straight up have open waiver wires right now, which isn't how high stakes works. Go for it. For the high stakes people, who have Saturday pickups, Herbert's
Pay
gonna-
for Herbert.
Yeah.
One, he's a great start this week, and two, long term,
I'm
he's going to be
guessing
the best
to-
running back on that team.
I'm going to trust our executive producer, the guy that makes all this happen, has some Herbert on our teams. I have not looked, but I trust in him. Hawkinson or Schultz, PPR starts. I'm guessing you've already answered these.
We did. What do you think about that one?
That's a tough one. I'm a big Schultz guy right now, right? Like, how can you not be?
Right.
We were
That's
split.
what-
We were split. I
split.
said Schultz. He said
I
Hawkinson.
said Hawkinson, but Josiah was very high on Schultz this week.
And any idea about Michael Thomas? No.
You're saying no?
I don't have any idea. He's
Oh,
not
any idea,
playing.
okay.
I
From
mean,
what I've heard, it
well,
sounds like
there-
he's likely to come back after
Yeah,
the bye.
he's likely. Yeah, he'll be.
I heard a statement from an insider like 2 days ago that said nobody believes what they're saying about Michael Thomas. There's some chance he will not see the light of day this season.
really.
That's what I've
Man.
been told.
Well,
That's what I heard.
that's interesting.
There you go.
that
All
would
kinds-
make
all
a-
kinds of different reports going out then.
Yes.
Yeah.
They,
That would make
they
a-
said there's a lot of Michael Thomas smoke out there as far as his injury.
So I mean, that's interesting.
I'm a Kyler fan, but concerned about his shoulder, to be honest. Don't worry about Kyler. The last thing you want to spend any time doing is worrying about Kyler. About anything. He'll be just fine. I have Aaron Jones also, by the way. Does that affect how you look at trades at all? Obviously, redraft 10-man league. 10-man leagues are the toughest thing in daily fantasy or season-long
there's
fantasy, right?
so
You
much
always have
value
to
on
drop
waiver
someone
wire.
It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like taking perfect pictures and trying to distinguish from that perfect picture.
Yeah, you take 5 perfect
Wh-
pictures, like
wh-
pick the best
wh-
one.
yeah,
They're
which-
all good.
Yeah, it's incredibly tough.
It
I,
is.
I will have to say that I am one of those guys in 10-man leagues. I'm either 2-12 or 12-2. There's no in between.
Right.
So, anyway, fun bunch of questions there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we should probably end it. We're
I'm just gonna have to go out and say that Cash's stylist is a great nickname. So
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
what that
Hey, there
means
you go.
quite, but
Yeah.
whoever Cash is, thanks for allowing your stylist some free time to ask some fantasy questions because I enjoy them. And Jimmy, you too, buddy. Bring them, right?
Yeah. Keep them coming.
Start sit.
Start sit is where we're at right
This is
now.
gonna be more popular than the pivot. I'm gonna hate this show. I'm never coming on this show.
But
First and last.
we're approaching an hour and 30 minutes. So I
This
guess we
was
should.
fun though.
Yeah, we
I mean, on a Thursday when we're just building up to kickoff, right?
Oh, we got
Right.
another one. We got
Oh,
Beck
whoa,
PF.
we're not going anywhere.
Can I trust Devontae Booker to be a reliable RB2 this week? PPR.
Booker, remind me who the
Remind
Giants
me who
play.
they play.
Yeah,
Do you know?
Devontae Booker. Let me look it up. Real
I've got
quick.
our lineup here from the pivot up. We don't have any Giants in it.
Let's
but-
see here. Booker, New York Giants. They play this week. The Rams.
Oh, I would say
I don't love him.
I'm going to go flex,
Flex.
not
okay.
running back too.
If you need him. But
mean,
if
give
you,
us who-
if you
it-
can start someone else, I wouldn't hate
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
throw
Beck,
us-
Beck, let us know
who
what
your
are
running backs
What
are.
are your other options?
I think it's Breck.
And
by
I'm
the
gonna
way.
let them entertain you. I
Breck
gotta
PF.
pee. We've been doing this for so long. I gotta go.
It's not because we're doing this so long. It's because he starts drinking seltzers at 10:30 in the morning. There's a big difference between the two circumstances as to why he wants to pee. I could probably do a 2-hour show without peeing. Can you do that, Cuz? It looks like you could probably pull that off
Yeah,
too.
I think I can pull it off. We're almost there.
Yeah. I could probably fly around the moon once and not pee, but not when I drink 6 seltzers. Anyway, that's fun. I like this show.
Yeah, it's a good time. Good time.
You
A
guys
lot
are
of
on,
good questions, guys.
you guys are onto something here. I'm glad the studio is being used for something else, and I do. This is gonna be a fun show. Tuesday afternoons, right?
That's the plan going down the road.
Late.
Yep.
So Tuesday evenings or Tuesday afternoons?
Probably late afternoon, early evening. I'm guessing. I don't know if we've decided for sure yet. but
don't have showtime yet.
We'll get there soon. We'll let you guys
but you
know.
guys are gonna commit weekly to this, right? So
Yep, we're
for
definitely doing it
For
every week.
instance, if Breck PF comes back next week, he's not going to be disappointed that there is no start sit.
No, make sure you like and subscribe, and you'll see our next video for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Call to action. We're not going anywhere until Jaron is in the. Man, we really have been going a long time. Jaron's in the course of a 5-minute pee. Seltzer will get it. Get that. Anyway, let's thank Cash's stylist. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Alex Santos. Breck
Oh yeah,
PF.
man. Thanks for all you guys' questions.
Good chat. We're gonna get more chat. We're gonna get those stuff answered. But no, you guys are gonna have some people on that know what they're talking about, right? We got.
Oh yeah, we'll have some different
The
topics.
great
every
thing
week.
about the
We'll-
studio
it'll
is
be
that
good.
we can get some fun guys to do some start sit stuff with you
Oh, yeah.
guys, and sometimes
we'll start shit.
Yeah, you'll start some
Start shit, yeah.
That's what it's going to be. Kind of a little debate format at times between Cuz and Jared.
Oh
maybe?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. It's
Oh,
always
yeah.
going to be that way.
I mean, who doesn't love a good debate show, right?
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
We already had some disagreements going on today.
Yeah.
I like that you both built a lineup, and I like that I got to build a lineup.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
You chimed in perfect timing.
I was at dinner with my mother, so I'm sorry, but next time I will make sure I'm more available if necessary.
All right.
I hope that you guys get some cool guests. Oh, we got more. I'm
Yeah.
willing to stay till kickoff.
Oh
so
yeah,
if,
sure.
If you guys want to
so we got
kickoff,
Breck. Actually, I called him Beck. His name is Breck PM.
don't worry, I
He
corrected
said
you.
CMC, CEH, Jamal Williams, Booker, and Pollard are my running backs. CEH is currently in IR.
Thank you for that update.
So CMC, fill me in. I'm.
So
I
he wants
can't-
to know if he should start Williams,
No, he was
Booker,
saying
or Pollard.
He's saying Booker is Booker number 2 running back.
Yeah. So he wants to know who he should start: Jamal Williams, Devontae Booker, or Tony Pollard.
Hey, Breck, send the wide receiver so we can also talk flex. Out of the running backs, CMC's a must, right?
Yeah. CMC's
CMC,
locked
I'd
in.
go CMC.
Assuming he's gonna play. Actually, I heard he's doubtful this week.
Oh, he is?
Yep.
I
So
did-
if that's the case, you have to start Booker.
Yeah, if you got no CMC, you're going Booker, Pollard, or
I think
Jamal Williams.
I think you start Booker either way in this lineup.
Jamal Williams
Yeah.
is the backup for Detroit.
Yep,
Right? Okay.
yep.
okay.
Yep.
I get the Williams mixed
And
up.
Pollard's back up in Dallas.
We have 3 Williams right now currently at running back, right?
Maybe more.
Yeah.
We got Chicago,
We got
Damian
Kansas
Williams.
City.
Damian Williams. We got
Javonte
Darrell
Williams.
Williams or
So now we got
Daryl
4.
is in Kansas City.
Devontae Williams in
and
Denver.
he's starting this week.
Oh, I forgot
That's
about
4.
Javante. Javante.
We got a lot of Williams.
He's
this
the
week.
best of the 4.
Anyway, Breck, you're playing Booker.
Yeah, you start Booker at your running back 2. If
Any-
McCaffrey's out, you're starting him at your running back 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's out, he's RB1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys like I'm gonna put in. I haven't put anything in for tonight, so I need to.
So this is his wide receivers. We got Woods, Moore, Hollywood, Brown, Ridley, and Waddle are his wide receivers.
Definitely a strength of your team.
Yeah.
Definitely. You're not flexing a running back.
And what's your record in your season long? Because I mean, your team seems pretty solid for the most part. I mean, Ridley hasn't had
Well,
really a
CMC's
great
If you're,
been
if you're
out, so that's
starting
been
3
hurting him.
wideouts, you're definitely starting Woods, Moore, and Hollywood. Because Ridley's is Ridley playing this week? Or they're
Ridley's
on
on
bye. They're on
so
bye.
no.
Yeah, Ridley's not
Actually,
playing
what
this
am I
week,
talking
and he
about?
hasn't really done what he's.
Woods.
What
Yeah,
we'd
you're
expect.
definitely. If you're playing 3 in a
He's
flex,
4-1 so far. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's what
that
you'd
doesn't
expect.
surprise me.
Yeah.
No, because CEH has been good.
Yeah, and CMC when he has played has nailed
Yeah.
it. Definitely play the wide receivers.
Yeah,
and,
definitely play wide receivers.
and then play Booker and hope CMC goes. And if he doesn't, I hope. Would you play Pollard, or would you be?
Yeah,
I don't hate playing Pollard.
I don't
but
hate
I would play
playing
Booker
Pollard
over
either.
him.
It's actually amazing to me how
Is there
how
somebody on the waiver wire that you guys would play over Pollard?
Khalil Herbert.
yeah,
Khalil Herbert?
and he's
Yeah.
he's like 12% owned
If he's
across
still out there.
ESPN leagues or 23% owned, something
Yeah,
like
if
that.
Herbert's out
Pretty
there, I'd
low.
play him.
So if Herbert's out there,
Herbert's
Brack,
out there, I'd play him over Booker.
yeah. If you can grab Herbert right now on your waiver wire, you should do that because he's starting this week. If you just are now picking him up, most likely you probably don't have a chance anymore. The news came out like right before we started this show or something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was earlier this afternoon, maybe 2 or 3. So it's been several hours.
It's been several hours now, but Herbert for Chicago is a great play this week from the consensus that I'm getting here. And Josiah over here, my cousin, he is a big Chicago fan, and he can't stop talking about him.
Herbert,
So-
I like him as a running back. Where's he out of, by the way? Do we know that?
Virginia Tech.
Okay, now I remember him. Yeah, I like Herbert.
So yeah, that's where, yeah, I like Booker based off what you gave us, and yeah, it makes sense that you're 4-1 so far. Your team seems pretty solid. But I mean, I guess if no other questions show up, we are approaching an hour and 40 minutes. I mean, we could just keep talking.
I think we
on
might as well
stream.
go to 7:00 tonight. Right?
Might as well go to 7
Take 'em
o'clock.
up.
Yeah,
Alright.
we'll just chill.
I mean, we've gotten questions. I mean,
if Matt actually, I mean, if we're streaming, I might as well just ask this question on stream. If my wife says it's okay, you want to watch some football tonight?
yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I was
Josiah,
gonna.
you want to watch some
Yeah,
football
I was gonna
tonight?
go to
Totally
Sprint-
done.
Sprint
we
cart.
just need to get some food.
Yeah, you guys can DoorDash some food over.
Okay. So wait, you're leaving?
No, I'm staying.
Oh, you're staying. So
Yeah.
you're not going to the.
No sprint car race. I said no to the sprint car
Okay,
race. My
great.
mind, before I left, I was thinking about going. Then I came back and I'm like,
Which he's talking about a sprint car that has a Pivot logo on it.
It's sick, bro.
So he's missing out on watching
Watching
our
our
logo,
car race
our
tonight.
car drive.
But our car will be back at the Chili Bowl
Right.
in 2022.
Yeah.
And
I just have to call my wife and make sure that's okay. I don't see my kids are probably asleep at this point, so I don't see why that would be a problem. But
no, you are welcome. I enjoyed the company.
Yeah.
Yeah. If when sat down, this was fun. We had questions, so I decided to anti the race.
Yep. I'm sorry that you guys aren't seeing Matt's face, but if you have been, if you watched any of
Anti-race,
our
not one hot shot.
any of our podcasts before, he is the host of all of them. He's the one that keeps the glue together on all the podcasts. So tune in every Thursday. Hit that subscribe button. We are constantly doing content for football, and we
have the juice.
We've got the juice. As you can see from our logo, we are the Pivot featuring the juice.
And the juice brings it, man.
Oh, he does. He does, absolutely.
I can say, and I enjoy saying this about it, we are having success as a show.
Oh
Man,
yeah, absolutely.
We finished third technically in the Rays League last year. We would have gotten second, but we pivoted off the lineup because we knew that Gardy was starting all the chalk.
Oh yeah.
Or we would have gotten second. Third paid. This year, we're killing it consistently. The show lineup is great. Your producer exemptions have been the highlight.
Oh yeah. I mean, my producer exemptions
Have 5 touchdowns so far. He's
have
had
5 touchdowns, and I missed 2 of them.
2 exemptions, 5 touchdowns. It's pretty.
And
pretty
this week it's Ricky Seals Jones. I
We'll
pulled
see
this
on
up
that
so
one.
you can see it, Matt. This is my season long lineup. Let me know your thoughts while we see if anyone else has any other
Yeah,
questions.
we'll wrap this up at 7. I have no. I mean, we might as well at this point.
Right. So.
Well, you should show him your team and my team, and he can choose.
Oh yeah,
one.
Yes, I
that's
like
a great
that.
idea. So
That's
so
even
so
better.
look at these teams and let us know which one you would rather have.
You
This
should
is
show the
mine.
bench too, though.
Why does it not shock me that Derrick Henry is on your season?
Of course
long team?
he's in my. I'm gonna
All the
do
guys he
everything I
talks about
can.
all the time is only because they're on his season.
That's
long
not
Yes.
true. That's not true.
I'm learning facts here. Julio's gonna love that fact.
So I actually on my this is my bench.
is that James Robinson?
That's James Robinson. Yeah, look,
So
I've got.
I know you loved James Robinson last year. You were way heavy on James Robinson last year. Did you draft him and Etienne, or did you just happen to draft James Robinson?
No, James Robinson was one of my keepers because I got on
Oh,
him
this
before.
is a keeper league. So you kept James Robinson even knowing that Etienne exists?
Well, this is so let me
Well, our
fill
draft
you
was
in.
after Etienne got hurt. So.
Oh, okay.
Let me
Oh,
fill
that
you in
makes
on
sense.
how this league works. So this is an auction draft. Have you ever done an auction draft, Matt?
I have. I'm not a big fan.
Okay, so auction drafts with this league, you get 4 keepers, and whatever you draft them for, or whatever you pick the player up for off the waiver wire, you get to keep them for that price. So last year, I got James Robinson for $2.
Oh,
and
well
so every
worth it.
team has $250 to craft their team with. So.
Gardy's trying to entice me to. Oh, I'm not gonna say that on the air.
Right. So James Robinson would probably, I would assume, if you're in an auction league, he would probably go for like $40 or $50. Would you say?
Yeah. I
James
completely
Robinson, yeah.
completely
40.
understand the keep now. I think it's
Okay.
a great keep.
So
Your
$2.
but that keep made your lineup sick, right?
Right. It helped me
Without
out.
that keep.
Yeah, made him be able to go get Najee Harris.
Najee Harris cost me
Hey,
$96
somebody tell
in
me
this league.
this. How did Dan Arnold get on the Jaguars? Wasn't he on the?
He got
He was,
traded
yeah,
Mid-
just like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
yeah. He
Okay.
got
I
got
missed that
traded.
trade.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was a big Dan. I have him in unbelievable amount of best ball teams.
I mean, you just can't drop in a best ball.
I
team.
think every best ball team I have has Darnold as my quarterback. So I have a lot of Arnold.
Darnold.
I mean, that first was great.
I think
so-
Arnold is going to be just as good.
Okay,
as
so I like your team. I really like the tone.
So actually, my normal tight end is Kyle Pittman, but because he's on a
Kyle
bye
Pitts.
this week, I've got Dan Arnold in there, and I've got Corey Davis, Kyle Pitts, Daniel Jones, Gainwell, Hubbard.
I love Tony. I mean, that was is that a waiver wire pickup?
Yeah, Tony was a waiver. I actually picked him up a week before everyone else did,
Did you-
so I
so
got him
wait,
for
wait.
$2.
So just go back. Did Najee Harris your second round pick?
Najee Harris. So
Well, it was
it
an
doesn't-
auction draft.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
an auction
auction
draft.
draft,
So
right.
he cost me just short of $100.
Yeah, he's gonna pay off. I think.
Yeah. So this is my team, and now I'll switch to Josiah's team, and you let us
What is
know.
the name of your team?
My name is
I'm your Huckleberry.
I'm your
Okay.
Huckleberry. It's
So
a
there-
Tombstone reference there.
Thank you. Wow. Okay.
I'm for the listeners. You know what I'm
So
saying?
now we're gonna do a movie podcast. Okay, I like it.
So let me double stuffed Oreos. Where it is? There it is. All right. So this is Josiah's team.
I was just shocked that there was no Red Ryan reference in your team.
Oh
name.
no. It'll pull up here in just a second.
About 10 seconds.
Our stream, the stream that we're seeing is about 10 seconds.
Is that
delayed.
because we have TV screens?
Yeah.
That
It might
monitors would
be. It might
speed
be.
that up. Oh,
It-
Jesus. Never-ending ways to spend money, right?
Right. Never ending ways.
Okay,
But
so we
this
got
is
Hurts,
Josiah's
so-
team.
So I like breaking it down by draft picks. So was Zeke your number one pick?
Zeke was auction draft.
Oh, that god dang it!
I got
see it.
Zeke for less than he
I
got.
swear we
Najee
need a
Harris.
fine bucket for idiotic questions. Okay, so Zeke, none of these people were drafted in a round. Okay,
Right.
what did you pay for Devontae Adams so I can compare it to what?
Devontae Adams was a keeper for $28.
Oh wow, yes, that was probably smart.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, Hurts, Elliott, Williams, Adams, Waddle, Robbie Anderson. Knox is a great tight end. Is that a waiver wire pickup?
That was a waiver wire pickup.
Yep,
Just a couple
recently.
weeks ago.
But you got to see his
Scroll
bench.
down to his bench.
Yeah,
I also got
because
Alvin
he's got
Kamara on
Alvin
bye.
Kamara.
I mean, clearly his team's better, right?
Josiah's?
Right?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
there
okay, wait.
any
You should guess
debate?
what both of our records are.
Are you guys both like 4-1 or something?
I'm 2-3.
2-3?
I'm
Right?
4-1.
This is 10-man league, right?
No,
12.
this is 12.
Wow. How is
Right.
Josiah's team in a 12-man league 2-3? Oh, because Kamara had such a slow start.
Kamara's had a bit of a slow start.
Yeah, pretty slow start.
Go back
I
up.
also have Jerry
Go back
Judy.
up.
We
All
lost
right,
him.
it's
He
back
was one
up.
of my
Okay.
guys that I
Yeah,
do
but
pick
Adams,
for.
just a second.
you got Adams and you lost to like somebody who had Tyreek Hill, right?
Well, last week I scored a shit ton of points and still lost.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You just lost a game where you like
Yeah.
lost to Tyreek Hill or something, right? Like, because your team is solid
Right?
with the
I don't feel the same way.
you
I feel
Hurts,
like
Elliott, Kamara, Adams, Waddle. Yeah, his team's better. I'm just projecting future success. Not
I see. Okay.
He's not just looking at past success.
Yeah, Knox. Go back to your team so I can not be so
And I
hard
have
on
Noah
your team.
Fant on my bench. too.
Alright, I'll go back.
Right now I'm heavy Cuz's team.
Here you go.
So while
about to
we're
show up.
flipping back in the 10 seconds here, where did double stuffed Oreos come from? Is that your thing?
That's just what I like, man. I like,
I like
double stuffed Oreos.
Hey, I'm
Don't
into
say
that.
Oreos. They are delicious.
So
I
my
could eat a whole
question when I
package
asked
of
you if it's a thing. Okay, so looking back, oh, wow. Is there a quarterback on the bench that's not named Trevor Lawrence that I don't know about?
No, my
Daniel
quarterbacks.
Jones.
I got Daniel Jones and I got Fitzpatrick on IR. That's
You're like me. You just hate wasting anything on quarterbacks.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
That's kind of
I
where.
told Toby, I
I'm
think
like that
there's gonna
too.
in high stakes league. I think there's gonna be a point where we just stop drafting it, right? And
Quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
You just draft running backs and wide receivers.
and you just literally just pick them up as needed, right?
Right.
Like,
No, what makes actually way
Okay.
better is if you do super flex because
I'm
it
starting
actually
to. I
values
like your
quarterback.
team a little bit more for future success. Man, he's got Kamara and like Henry and Harris could be the 1-2 fantasy running backs at the end of the season.
right.
But if they
this
are,
would-
Kamara and Zeke could be 3 and 4.
That's the
Yes,
problem.
yeah. Maybe me and Josiah probably collectively have the
The
top
top
five.
five
Oh, we
running
have the best running
Yeah,
backs.
Henry and Harris could really truly finish as 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's what makes your team good, obviously.
Right.
Your receiver, I love Marvin Jones Jr. though.
He's been bad, though.
Hey,
For
it's
2
just-
weeks, I mean.
Yeah, I think we have.
He might
good-
be fine. I don't.
I
hate
think
him.
we
I
have
would-
good
I
Marvin
would start
Jones
him on my
Jr.
team too, but he hasn't been good lately.
Yeah, your receiver. I mean, I'm gonna lean a little bit towards Josiah's team
Right.
with
My
the idea.
receivers
But
aren't
I
great.
have Devontae Adams at
But
receiver.
just
Which
give it a
outweighs
couple
all the
weeks.
receivers.
That's what's selling me is the Kamara, Elliott, Devontae Adams threesome versus.
Just give it a couple weeks. I have Devontae Smith and
Plus, I don't have to
Kadarius
start Geno
Toney,
Smith.
and,
I mean-
and same thing with Marvin Jones. I mean, I feel like
I hate to break it
feel
to you,
like-
but we may have gotten the best Kadarius Toney game already.
No,
Right?
no,
That's exactly
absolutely
what I
not.
said earlier.
No, this is
I
what
was
I
like,
said to just
temper your expectations.
Yeah,
No,
we
no,
might
stop.
have gotten the best game this last
No,
week.
no, 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 stop. This is what I said to Josiah before he was hot. I said I'm feeling Odell Beckham vibes from Kadarius Toney.
He
For-
did. That was literally right before last week.
You
Yeah,
might want to preface that. Not
So I feel like
2021 Odell
this
Beckham,
he's
right?
going to be a solid.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
watched
talking like
2017 Odell
2017
Beckham.
Odell Beckham, right?
I watched his highlights and he is so elusive. Like
He's awesome.
He
He's
grabs
great.
the ball.
He should have played against OU last year. That
I feel like he's going to have some of the best after the catch stats. Basically, he'll be one of the top wide receivers in the league
How many-
that gets
how many
yards
DK
after
point-
the catch.
Definitely, that's what he's good at. For
How
sure.
many DK points did he score last week?
lot.
He
He had
scored
10
30.
catches,
Like,
It's like
190
40,
yards.
right?
it was like
38?
34. Yeah, it was a lot. 180 yards, like 13 receptions or
Yeah.
8 receptions or something.
They're
13
like-
targets.
Yeah.
So,
Price of the new computer, I give you the over. You take it?
what do you mean?
Meaning, I get if he doesn't score over what he had last week in DK, you buy the computer.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to risk that much. No, I
not
don't want
that
to risk that
confident.
much. I just, no, but
The
I'm
chances
very.
of him scoring over 38.5 DK points.
I'm not saying he's going to score 38 points next
10%
week or this
maybe?
week.
Even if you put it at 20, I would take the.
I think he's going to score 20 points.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm saying, but my question is, does he ever beat what he did last week DK wise?
Oh yeah, I think he will.
Are you willing to do that
Yeah,
for the rest
yeah.
of the season?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He's saying rest of the season, not this
You're
week.
saying rest? I mean, no, I don't. I
You
don't
still
want to
wouldn't?
put either of us in that
I just
position.
wanted to see how much you liked it.
I would
One
do that.
time, one
If-
time.
If you're
You got
I
11
was,
tries.
I'm saying
I've
right
got
now.
38.5, and you've got the rest of the season.
I'm
He's got
saying
11 weeks to
So
do
you're
it.
saying if he doesn't score 38.5 more points,
He would have to score 39
30. He'd have to
or
score 39
38.6
points,
technically.
and then
Sure.
it's the cost of computer or something like that. I would take that bet, but I don't want to take it.
Because you're afraid you're being nice to me.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
exactly,
thank you.
It sounds like a cop out.
You do
It's
get.
not a cop out. He's gonna do it again.
I should
Have you
get-
seen his
I
highlights?
should get like 2-1 on that.
No, Kadarius Toney is going to be he's going to be a league winner this year.
It's hard to get 38.5 fantasy DK.
Yeah.
points.
Right. He's not going to do that every week because that's a lot. But I feel like
No, he only has
he's
to do
good.
it 1 week.
And I don't think he is.
I feel like he's a league winner. Is what
I do like Tony. He could
might
be.
be a
Oh
league
wow,
winner.
league winner.
He might be a league
I think
winner.
he is.
I think your boy's a league winner. I forgot you had him too. Okay, I forgot the James Robinson at flex on your team.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
think that could be the league winner.
Oh, I love
James
James
Robinson?
Robinson.
Yeah.
Could be.
I love.
looks
James
like a stud.
Robinson. I mean, he.
I really like James.
I don't
Robinson.
know why
or Jamar
Jacksonville.
Chase. I don't know that Jamar Chase slows down at all.
Oh no,
I
I
think
love Jamar.
and
Chase.
I
had-
actually think Jamar Chase
I'm
will
saying
slow
that
down.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
with not owning him on one season long.
Oh, yeah. I don't own him
on anything.
in anything other than I think our family league. But I love Jamar Chase.
Let's talk more about the family league. Who's
No,
winning
the
this?
family league's not that.
Nah, the
interesting.
family league's not exciting. We only
No.
have, it's a 6-team league.
Yeah, it's not. It's not exciting.
So this 12-man league that we are sharing with the viewers here as we wrap this up, is this a league you guys do with your buddies?
Yes.
Yeah, this is like a bunch of buddies that like over a decade. This league has been going.
This is
for
the
10
10th
years.
year of our league.
Highly
No one's
good.
ever won twice.
Oh wow!
No one's
Oh,
ever won
wow.
twice,
Nobody's
yeah.
ever won twice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had a similar league like that in Black Dog. I don't know that anybody ever won twice either.
yeah. So
we're supposedly getting our old school fantasy league together again next year.
so possibly we'll have our first second year winner this year. It's a $100 league. The winner gets $1,000. We're constantly trying to up the buy-in. It was $75
Yep.
last year.
We finally got
we
it
had this
last
issue
year.
in Black Dog because some people are like, "Dude, let's do 350." Dudes were like, "No."
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's what we're dealing with. But yeah. So I feel like I'm going to be the first second year winner or second winner.
Or Josiah.
I'd
Or
be-
Josiah.
I'd be
His
surprised
record
if
doesn't
he
look as
wins.
good as mine. I'm 4-1.
They don't have to have a good record. You just have to make the playoffs and then win the last 3 games.
Right. And
You're a. I think the word scratchy 4-1 might be like
a scratchy 4-1. What are you
Like that,
talking
that
about?
team looks like it could be 1-4, right?
Right,
no.
right.
What are you talking about?
We have some low floors on some players. Actually, you do have the 2 best running backs in fantasy. I got to stop. Okay,
I'm going to
that's
say
it.
I would
borderline
not
three.
classify
You-
as
you-
Najee
you
Harris
actually
as
have
a top
3.
2 running
Yeah.
back.
You're not projecting.
Maybe down the road, but I wouldn't expect
Who else?
it to
What other
happen.
running back has 18 targets this year?
Christian McCaffrey would.
Yeah, that's true.
He's been injured though. I mean,
Yeah.
But he's going to be healthy at some point.
yeah. But yeah,
I would
Najee
take
Harris. I
Dalvin
think is the
Cook.
only
I
one.
would take Austin
As of right
Eckler
now.
over
At
Harris.
this point, you
What?
would?
No. I'd take Harris over.
Yeah, I would
Eckler.
say Eckler.
I would take
I
Eckler.
wouldn't take the
I
other
think
ones.
Eckler's even scored more than Harris up to this point.
We can check. I can
Check
check
it.
right now. That
Eckler's been a
ESPN actually
stud.
does this.
Okay,
for
guys.
me.
The only thing with
This
Eckler
game's
to
about to
Harris,
start. Hit us up. Somebody hit us up with the final question. We want to.
All right, I'll
Hold
just
step.
I'll just do this, and we'll if
See if
there are
we
no
can-
questions come in, we'll see who the highest scoring running back right now. Highest scoring running back is Henry. Second is Eckler. Then it's Elliott.
Good call.
And then fourth is Cordell Patterson.
Thank you.
right?
So
I told you
far,
top 5.
Kareem Hunt, which might be surprising. He's
That
number
Yeah.
that
five.
actually is shocking.
He's been really good.
And then 6th is Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Harris is going to move that up.
I feel like he is too.
I mean, remember he had like a 2-point game to start off
Yeah,
the
but
season.
also not in that top 6 right now is Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, because they've been dealing with injuries.
And Chubb is he's
He just doesn't get the catches.
he's 8th
He just doesn't
overall.
get the catches, yeah.
But
I think he's gonna hang in that area too.
Yeah.
But it's surprising that he is not scoring as much as he normally.
True, because Cleveland.
I mean, he's
scored like
8th
40
overall.
points
That's
last
good,
week.
but it just feels like it should be better. I
Yeah.
mean, is my sentiment.
Yeah.
He's still been pretty good. He's just not a guy who's gonna
Chuck, you have to
score
remember
30 points in a week.
Remember, like Jonathan Taylor at this point last year was barely being rostered, right? I mean,
Right.
And he
True.
turned,
Some people picked
so
up Taylor off the waiver wire.
the thing about the NFL is what I've really noted is that they save running backs. So they're trying.
True. Yep.
And
Same thing happened with Cam Akers last year.
I think by the way, Jonathan Taylor gets let loose. I think he's on the let loose list now.
I think he was let loose last week, right?
Yeah, I think they've gave him like a month to get and I think he's about to get 20 carries a game.
Yeah.
He just scored a bunch of points last
So
week.
we'll end
So
it
that
here
would
in
be
a
that would be
second.
a sell low right now. I mean, I guess he wouldn't be sell low. He just came off a big game.
Oh yeah, he had a huge game this past
would-
week. Yeah.
I would buy him high.
But before we end this stream, which has been a great stream,
This has been fun.
I have to say this: my 3 running backs are in the top 10 overall.
And I agree.
that's why you're 4-1.
yeah.
That's
So far,
so far,
Yeah.
yeah.
who's your flex? You have. I know that you got the 2 running backs, Kamara, and then you've got Adams, and then you flexing who?
Well, right now I would flex Darrell Williams
Okay,
until CEH gets back.
that's a good flex.
But I have Madison, so I've been
Wow.
flexing Madison.
How are you 2 and 3? You got somebody scored big points on you
Well,
last week.
we
Bunch
can
crap.
check that actually
Bunch
right
crap.
now. Points
Who-
scored
here-
against is a
So we used to always
important-
say record doesn't matter. Between the 2 of you, who has more regular season points?
Okay,
scored
so right
far?
now Josiah has 740, but he
Yeah.
has 800 points scored against. I have 770 points for my team, so I'm 30 above Josiah, but I only have 723 points scored against me.
I just received a picture of the car at the track, by the way.
So I have more points, but less points scored against so far.
Right.
And Josiah actually has the third most points scored against right now in the league.
Yeah.
So
I'm not too worried about my team. I feel like my team's pretty good.
yeah. So
I don't think your team. You have anything to worry about.
right. Yeah, his team's not as terrible as I thought it was.
So
before
is there an
today.
undefeated team? Let's see the 791
No,
team.
nobody's undefeated.
Let's see
There's
the
no
7.
one. There's no one undefeated. There's 4 teams that are 4-1.
Let's look at Football's Life. They're the top scoring team so far. I want to see what they
Yeah,
look.
he has the
Football's
best team.
life. He's got
He has the best team.
He's got a pretty good team.
I don't
Although
know
his
how he
quarterback,
has the best team when you guys have all the running backs.
his quarterbacks.
Well,
are
he's
pretty
got
shit.
Dalvin
He has
Cook.
good. He has
Dalvin Cook's
Dalvin
been
Cook and
injured,
Eckler.
but
but you have his backup.
True.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he has.
I've been
his
trying to
backup.
trade up Madison to him, but he doesn't want.
And I've been trying to
doesn't wanna
trade
do anything.
Hubbard to the guy that owns, which is my brother, that owns a McCaffrey. They won't take it. They won't. They're not budging on that.
Has he been playing Tyler? Oh, he's not low. Tyler Henneke and Darnold are fine quarterbacks, by the way. They're not. I mean,
Oh,
He's
yeah,
been-
no, that
he has
panned
Derek
out pretty
Carr.
well.
He's been playing Derek Carr over Heineke,
It's panned out pretty well for him.
but
these.
his quarterbacks are pretty sketchy. I think.
I like your guys' teams better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with my team. I don't think I'd trade
He's
my
better
team.
at wide receiver than both of us.
Actually, the team that I think
Not-
I would
not
trade
with-
for.
I wouldn't trade his wide receiver core for yours with Adams in it.
No.
This is the team. This
He
is
doesn't
my,
have high ceiling guys. You guys, you have to understand. Adams still has like 4 or 5
Well, he's got-
35
He
point
also
games.
has Justin Jefferson at flex.
I do
this
like
is
Justin.
this is the team that I think if I were to trade straight
You
up
have
for
to understand
anyone-
from a mathematical standpoint, you still have like 4 or 5 30, 35 point games left.
Yeah, I mean Adams is
So
clear cut the number 1 wide receiver.
yeah,
I think this is my favorite team outside of my team in the league. This is Bear Jordan. He's 4-1. He's doing pretty good, and he's got the
Bear
$5
Jordan, he's
Mike
2-3.
Williams.
that team is just it's just
Bear Jordan is
Other
4
than-
no,
4-1.
other than
You're right.
his
I was thinking of Brad.
other
yeah.
than his quarterback position, which is obviously struggling.
Actually, I don't think his team is very good, but he just lost Russell Wilson.
I think it's
yeah, he's got a
solid.
lot
I think
worse.
his thing is he's a high floor guy, right? Like,
Right.
That team's just never gonna dump, right?
Right, exactly. He's always going to score points. So if he plays someone that
I don't
that-
know, man. When
Mike
you're
Evans.
starting Carson Wentz and Davis Mills.
He really does need to work on. He needs to trade you one of you guys. He needs to trade for a quarterback that
Right.
because that's a pretty sick team. Other than that,
When
though.
you're on,
Right.
yeah, the Superflex League makes quarterbacks way more valuable. Like you can't get away with bad quarterbacks.
Oh, you guys you have Superflex in this?
Yeah, so that's why he has Wentz and Davis
Right.
Mills.
Yeah, we do an OP spot, so you can play anyone,
Yeah.
any offensive
Oh,
player
so
in
the
that
quarterback spot is way more important.
Yeah.
Right, and we're in a 12-team league, so our waiver wire.
So you guys you're starting Hurts. Who's starting Hurts?
I have Hurts and Tannehill.
Okay, and you have.
He has Lawrence.
That's
and-
why you've lost. Fucking Tannehill. I mean, excuse
True,
me, like-
but Tannehill's he's gonna bounce. He'll be.
I
Fine
agree.
in the long
Yeah,
run.
yeah. I
So
think he'll
that's
bounce back.
good
That's
for
why
you.
I've lost games though, probably.
That's why you've lost.
Yeah.
Because Tannehill should
Because
have.
Derrick Henry's getting all the touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 last week.
But
He's
I
had
agree. I
three
agree
in,
with.
like 3 games.
I agree with that. That's going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During. I think Monday night it could change.
I do too.
You said Tannehill had 3 in 3 games. Derrick Henry had 3 in 1 game.
no.
just
I
last
said
week.
Derrick Henry has had like 3 games with 3 touchdowns this year, right?
Has it been 3?
At least 2. At least 2.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm
at it real
about to
quick.
You guys are
find
gonna
out.
have to come up with a theme song for start and sit. Like start and sit. Start and sit. We're gonna tell you when to start
he's
and
had 2.
sit.
He's had 2.
He's had 2.
He has had
So
2
we
with
can
3
do that on the way out.
touchdowns.
You don't get to use the pivot theme song for the way out.
Oh, that's fine.
That's copyright pivot.
All right. Well, we are approaching.
Have you
We're
been
about
watching
to
the
hit.
show? Well, before we leave, Cuz, have you been watching the show this year?
I have been. Yep.
What do you think of the additions to the show?
I like it, man. I like the sound.
Enough
bites.
to
I
where
like-
he suggested that we should just do this with the pivot.
Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah,
That's
so-
my idea.
I like it.
Yeah.
You like the addition of Emmy? She's great, right?
Yeah, she's been killing it. That's a good
Emmy
addition
kills
for
it.
sure.
She, yeah. Now that we got Juice back in studio, it's
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
So,
It feels good. But
I like the new mics, by the way.
Oh yeah, they feel very nice, don't they?
I feel like I can like talk at any angle. It sounds the
exactly.
same.
Did
Yeah.
you see what you just
Yeah.
did there? And the volume didn't change.
It's different.
like
yeah, that's definitely different. And I like that I don't have to worry about where my mic is ever.
right. You don't.
I like
you
it. Like today, I was just pulling on my mic constantly.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like always making sure it's right.
Yeah.
right. So
I think it's gonna be funny when Julio walks in and makes you put up the old mic stand. He's literally gonna make him put up the old mic stand. He's gonna die on this hill. I promise he is. I promise it's gonna be discussed that he wants the old mic stand back.
well, we got him. We saved him.
I think it'd be funny if he comes in here and demands that we put the old mic back up for him.
But if you've been listening this whole time, we are approaching 2 hours now.
This was fun. It won't always be
Super
2
fun.
hours.
It won't always be 2 hours. We just started hanging out.
Well,
and
maybe it
talking
will
about
be.
football. We'll see. We'll see.
Maybe it
it's
will
a
be.
chill experience here.
Yeah.
So
Good luck in the game. Good luck in your
yeah.
showdown lineups.
I'm gonna let Matt dial it out, and I'm gonna go
Next week, if you
into
got
the
more
office
questions,
there
hit us up.
and end it up.
He's got. We gotta play something here. We gotta do. Let's do this. Give him a little.
There you go.
You can steal the 50 Cent drop music. Anyway, guys, have fun tonight. I think he's turning the off button on, so good luck. Did you just turn it off?
Nope, I'm about to.
Oh, that just cut off.
All right.
Picked the wrong week, we quit switching blue.
Now I'm just hitting shit.
See you next
Julio wants to get rid of this sound.
Get high.